Hello, everybody. Um, Merry Christmas. I know today is December 23rd. We're only a couple days away from Christmas. I apologize for this. What? All right. My dog, of course, is going crazy. Get up there. All right. So I was kind of hesitating whether to have a stream or not tonight because I know a lot of people are busy. A lot of them aren't even near their computers. And I didn't want to waste anybody's time, but at least I figured I can get on at least say Merry Christmas to everybody and at least acknowledge everyone and wish them the best. Um, excuse me, I won't be having another stream this week. A lot of my co-hosts and co-panelists are busy with their families doing their Christmas stuff, which is totally understandable. But at least I can come on here and say hello to all of you who are able to listen. Hello, PvP. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I'm actually very tired and exhausted the last couple of days because I had to go to the hospital yesterday afternoon for a medical procedure, which fortunately I was supposed to get a biopsy, but they said I didn't need to have one yet, so they
Yeah,
just did
that's
it.
great. I heard you were saying that on Gorilla's channel yesterday. That's great news.
Yeah,
They just did the ultrasound.
just did the ultrasound, so that was easy peasy, and I was there for maybe an hour. A very nice lady technician doing the ultrasound stuff on my face, and she took it into the back room to get the I guess the head guy in the radiology department to look over the images, and she came back. She actually said it looks pretty good, so nothing too scary at this point. So we'll might do a biopsy, follow it up. We'll actually send you a letter when we do. So yeah, that was a big relief because I was really not looking forward to having a needle stuck in my face, to
Well, I'm glad to
be
hear
honest.
that. That's great news.
Yeah.
LDG, looks like we have people in the chat. LDG said, "Hey, Pop. Hello, LDG. So good to see you, sir. Hope you are doing well."
Hey, LDG.
Edge of Time. Greetings from the Edge of Time. Hello, Edge
Yeah,
of Time.
I had the time.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely good to see you guys. Gorilla, I know you're busy, but Gorilla says that he'll be around in a bit. But yeah, it's so good to see you guys. I know you guys are busy with your families. That's great. I hope you guys are having a very merry, wonderful, and cheerful Christmas.
I'm just having a
Um,
tiring Christmas. Like I've just felt really tired for the last day since I got home yesterday. It's just like I don't know why, but I guess I've just been so busy the last couple weeks. It's just finally caught up with me, kind of thing. So
well,
I'm
enjoy your
kind of,
time off and take some naps.
oh yeah, me too. Yes, exactly my plan. I'm going to have a big rest break over the next 9 days. So yeah, for sure.
Hello, Gorilla. How are you doing, sir?
Tired.
Hi,
I
girl.
kind of figured that. I know
I
you've got
know
a
the
lot
feeling.
going on.
I know the feeling there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm ready to get some chloroform for the kid.
Well,
Oh,
he's going to be all hyped up, of course. Christmas does that to kids, right? I'm sure you were like that when you were
Wrong
young.
one.
so
Wrong one.
the babysitting is wearing you out, is it, Gorilla?
Well, I've been trying to get her to go to bed for the last 2 hours, but she won't.
Yeah, I remember the other night she was going on and on and on, and I could hear her constantly talking in the background. It was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. Even with her talking through the whole thing, I still got copyright claim.
No.
Yeah, and they even claimed
Oh,
some of the stuff you were mentioning.
really? Oh,
Wait,
ouch.
wait. What are you talking about? The Walton stream?
Yeah.
What did PvP say? Are you talking about PvP? Or, I mean, what
Well,
happened?
I was showing that clip there where John was rejecting the offer. And John Boy's going, "That's $1 million," and PvP was talking part way through some of the thing that I was playing, and they still claimed it.
That's weird.
Oh, I thought you meant they claimed something PvP said.
No,
Aren't they usually pretty good though? Like, don't they usually drop it after a day or something, Gorilla?
yeah, the longest I've had to wait is 6 hours.
Well, that's not bad then.
Wait a minute. So they claim it, then you just wait 6 hours, they drop it, or they claim it, then you have to fight it, and then they drop it. Which one?
I dispute them. I
Then they
dispute them.
drop it.
Yeah,
I wish it was that easy with CBS.
I thought you said it was a TV station.
It is. Oh, that's right. Louisiana. Well, it's YouTube. I'm guessing YouTube is the one that makes the final decision, so I'm guessing it's YouTube.
When you put in a copyright dispute there, the person who filed the dispute has 30 days to respond, and if they do not respond, it's automatically dropped.
Well, no, I'm right, but I've been lucky in the last few, like when we did Gilligan's Island Wednesday, and when I showed the clip of Gilligan showing how deep the lagoon was, I was go- I was afraid for sure they were going to get me on that one, but no, not yet. So been lucky the last couple of weeks. Yeah, sounds like she's excited.
All right, just a sec. I'll be back.
Hello, Gap After Dark. So good to see you. Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Pop, PvP Gorilla, LDG, Edge of Time. Edge of Time says, hi, guys. No, hi, Gap. I got
Yeah,
to.
hi, Gap. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, I hope you guys have some plans. You're going to hang out with your families and your friends and do something.
Well,
I don't have a
I,
lot planned. I don't have a Christmas tree or anything, but I'm going to
yeah,
chill with my dogs. I consider them my family.
yeah, I got nothing going on tomorrow or Monday on Christmas. I'm just going to hang out by myself here and just get through another year, by myself and seeing my cousin and his wife next Saturday on the 30th. So that's going to be fun. So,
I used to, on when Christmas would come around, I used to enjoy watching the Christmas specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all that.
oh, yeah.
But those damn stations are so corrupt and greedy now, they won't even show that on most stations. I heard CBS was doing a blackout where it wasn't even showing on most of the networks, and it's like screw
Really?
that.
That's
Yeah, it's the
bad.
same way they're chopping up Charlie Brown. It's not worth it anymore. It's just
Yeah.
all pure greed.
Yeah, I don't bother with I haven't put regular TV on probably in a year and a half. I just never put it on anymore. I
Well,
should
that's fine
probably
as long
just,
as you're not paying for any kind of channels.
that's what I should cancel. I never get around to doing it, but yeah. But then again, they'll put the other stuff higher anyway, so it all balances out, right? So
No, if you're paying for something you're not using, there's nothing to balance out. You're paying for something you're not using. It's
yeah,
simple as that.
I could cut that, but then they'll say my grandfathered internet's got to go to the new internet, which is more expensive, right? So
I don't
it,
think it's legal
it,
anymore.
anyway, I really should do it.
Edge of
I know.
Time. Um, Gap says, Merry Christmas, all. Edge of Time says, you know you're old once you regularly apply stinky creams. Yeah, I know it exactly. Gap After Dark says, I use Pluto TV and an antenna. Yeah, I hear Pluto TV is owned by Paramount. And I I know of Pluto TV. By the way, I don't even own a television. But if I had a TV, honestly, I wouldn't be able to watch Pluto either because I cannot. I don't know. It's like I physically get ill when commercials come on, and if I can't skip them, I won't do it.
Yeah, yeah, commercials are a pain in the butt for sure. Especially now, like I can remember in the '60s as a kid, they'd be they'd show like, one or two commercials, it'd be like 60 seconds and you're back to the program, right? Now, if you got commercials on a lot of channels, they're doing like 3, 4, 5 minutes of
Yeah,
bloody ads.
5 to 10 minutes. But not only
And it
that,
drives me nuts.
yeah, but not only that. In the day, when they would show commercials, it was like for products like I don't know, like Hamburger Helper Food, Kraft Cheese, or it would be for the TV shows or movies. Now, I mean, seriously, just take a look at them, and it's drugs and lawyers,
Mm,
especially big pharma. I cannot stand it.
mm.
Basil Battle Dragon, hello there. Basil says, "Hi guys, Merry Christmas." The dragon is finally off work for a couple days. That's so good to hear. In fact, it's my first time in 15 plus years. Wow, to be off work
Wow.
for Christmas Eve. I hope they were paying you handsomely for all that.
Yeah, we'll have a good break there, Basil.
Gap After Dark says, Pluto TV is online and an app for phone. Yes.
Well,
Edge of Time says, I know you're in there because I can smell your creamsicles, zombie.
yeah, I
Uh,
can find most stuff online if I need to find a movie or a TV show. It's pretty good actually online now.
Yeah, I downloaded High Seas. If it's anything I want to see, I'll get it off the High Seas.
Yeah.
Basil says Santa said he'd put the bosses on the naughty list if they schedule us to work this weekend. Thanks, Santa. Well, good. And when there's a Santa, when you finally need him, there he is. And long time no see, Suzanne. I'm so good to hear from you. I hope you're doing well and recovering from the hospital.
Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, I hope you're feeling good, and want to wish you a very, very great Merry Christmas there, Suzanne.
Yeah, I hope you're staying warm and I hope you have power. She says hello, Pop PvP Gorilla. And Gap says, hey, Basil. And Suzanne says, Gap, hello. What do you want, Pooch? And Suzanne says, Edge of Time, hello. Okay, come here. Sorry, guys, my dog. Come here.
You're fine. You'll be hearing my kid here throughout the thing, so.
Gab After Dark says, Tubi TV app is a good one. Yeah, but I think it has commercials.
It
Gap After
does.
Dark says, hey, Suzanne. Suzanne says, Basil, hello. And Edge of Time says, welcome, Basil and Suzanne.
Tubi does have commercial spot, but they're actually not bad because I've watched a few movies and TV episodes on there in the last 3 or 4 months, and generally the ads are very short. They'll only maybe go like 30 seconds to a minute, like it was back in the 60s, and then you're right back to the program. So it's really not that bad at all, actually. And the quality is very, very good
There's
on
certain
Tubi.
ads. There's
Well,
certain
it's just
ads.
like generic stuff, just generic product stuff.
Yeah, but there's certain ads that just trigger me. When I hear specifically, when I hear liberty, 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 I'm like, fuck yeah! Oh my God, I'm out of there.
No, I
Especially
think
when you have something that's trying to sell a product, when all they do is repeat the name over and over and over and over and over and over. And I used to hear that shit when I was at my sister's house. Liberty, 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 liberty. I'm like, I am out of here. I would have to plug my fucking ears.
yeah, I don't remember any of those. It's usually
It's
just
a
like,
it's a crooked ass insurance company here in the U.S.
oh, I know. Yeah, I've heard the
And
ads,
they
but
play this stupid shit. And like I said, if you're gonna sell a fucking product, make a jingle that has like sentences and like a rhyme or limerick that rhymes. Do not, like, if I'm gonna sell a product, like let's say, I don't know, like Snickers bar. I'm not gonna say Snickers, 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 because all that is trying to do is drill it into your fucking head. And then nothing angers me more than when they do that, when they just repeat the product over and over and over and over and over. I'm like, oh God, just thinking about it, it's starting to trigger me.
oh, I
But
agree. That would be
it
very
makes me
annoying.
want to pull my hair out.
I don't think I've seen one of their ads on Tubi yet, though. It's usually just like food products or just generic stuff.
I don't know. I avoid all commercials, and especially now because the men are all cucks and cowards in the commercials, and the women are always taking charge.
Hmm.
So there's several reasons. Suzanne says, sadly, fellas know every day is a struggle. I'm fighting for my life right now.
Well,
I'm sorry to hear that,
that's not
Suzanne.
good. See,
I
that's
wish you the best, Suzanne. My prayers are with
gosh.
you.
Hope you feel better, Suzanne.
Edge of Time says, yikes. Yeah, that's not good. And Gap After Dark says,
Oh
Gap
boy.
says, are you opposed to it? Yeah, I don't watch any of the tampons or what do you call it, douches? No, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Because if you're going to show that, show fucking commercials for genital warts, all right?
Oh jeez.
Show something for, but no, it's all feminized. The commercials are feminized now. They're all written around women. They're all written around, well, I'll try to be politically correct as possible, but people of color are now dominating. It's like every commercial is dominated either by people of color or gay people or both. And I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm not going to let propaganda get through to me. I won't do it. Edge of Time says, been gay how long? Things overheard in an 80s locker room. That was an old commercial. Gap After Dark says, come on, laugh, pops. No, I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to force myself to experience stuff that put me in a bad mood. That's the point is as long as I stay away from those things, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I'm in a good mood. I'm cheerful. I wouldn't be doing the stream tonight. But if I had to listen to every 5 minutes, liberty, liberty, I wouldn't be doing the stream tonight.
Yeah,
Simple
I
as
don't think
that.
any of us would be here if we had to listen to that every 5 minutes. Most of the websites I watch, though, they have zero commercials, so that's pretty good.
Well, I just listen to YouTube, and for the commercials that I'm not able to skip, I mute. So either way, I don't have to listen to the product
Yeah.
and the message.
I have a commercial blocker that I use anyway, so when I'm on YouTube, I maybe get a couple of seconds of the ad beginning, and then it just turns off and goes to the video. So
Well, here I've got somebody who agrees with me. Gap After Dark says I hate the Liberty commercials. Yeah, and I'm just using those as an example. There's actually a
they,
lot of drug commercials and products that do that. Um, I just I can't do it. Okay, about a year and a half ago, I stayed with my sister and her husband a while, and they're extremely ignorant, uneducated, and they would watch the shit like, I mean, all day long they would be watching CSI, whatever the hell the name of the show is. I mean, all day, one episode after the other.
wow.
That's ignorance. And then every commercial break, you would hear Liberty, 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 and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here. And they would put up with that and watch it for hours on
Uh,
end. I mean, you can't get any more ignorant than that.
yeah, I can't watch commercial TV with all those ads. There's just way too many
No,
commercials.
and especially the same ones. Well, I guess there it's like with YouTube and with Twitter. I guess in their, because for me it doesn't work, but I think in their simple little minds they think, well, if we drill it in enough, they'll finally go out and purchase the product. That's not how it works for me. If I go to the store and I go to buy a product, and if I see an item on the shelf that is linked to one of those horrible commercials, I will not buy it because I'm not going to give them my money to see more of those commercials. So when I see something droned in over and over and over, it has the opposite effect on me. I will never, ever buy it or purchase or give them my money. Like Geico Insurance, that's another one. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Oh, if they were the last insurance company on this fucking planet, I'd go without no insurance.
Yeah, I'm the same. If I see commercials that really piss me off and annoy me, I'll never buy the product. I make a note of the product, and I just never, never, never will buy it. So
That's
their
right.
commercials backfire on them. I just think, well, I guess there's a lot more stupid people in the world than intelligent people, right? So that's what they're
There
counting on,
are,
you
yeah.
know.
That's my sister. That's what I'm saying. It's geared towards idiots like that. The
Uh,
ones that when they do go to the store, oh, I saw a commercial on this. I'll buy that.
ugh, yeah. You know, what annoys me really too is how our retailers continue to fill the shelves with products made in China, which,
I
as far as
know.
I know, is not a very friendly country to our Western nations, and yet they still continue to fill the shelves with poorly
Right.
produced garbage, cheap quality crap that if it lasts a year, you're probably lucky. Whereas if you bought something like 30 years ago, it could last your entire lifetime, right? So, yeah.
Even what was it I bought? It was something I just bought recently,
Mhm.
and it was an American made name, but of course it was made in China.
Oh
So
yeah,
even when you think it's American made and it has the American label, it's made in China now.
yep. Oh, that's what gets me. It's like I'll look on a product, you know, because they've generally got to put the origin country on the label somewhere, and it'll be like, you know, imported by such and such company in Montreal or Toronto, Vancouver, whatever, Canadian city, and then you look underneath in the fine print, it says made in China. And
I
it's like,
know.
Well,
okay, yeah, a Canadian company imported it, but it's still never made in Canada, right? So,
their newest thing that I've seen is they'll put designed in the USA or assembled in the USA or whatever.
oh
I
yeah.
still remember I worked for a company. I cannot tell you. I cannot mention the name of the company under signed agreements there.
Mm.
But every single component, even the box that we put stuff in, was made in China.
Of
Huh.
But
course, of course.
since we put it all together in the box here, we could legally say it was made in the USA.
Yeah, I see that on labels all the time now, where it says made from domestic and foreign, products or whatever. The way they word it, right? So it's
Well,
like, yeah, okay, there's
look
maybe
at
something domestic, but a lot of it's probably originating, in a foreign country, right?
Right. Look at YouTube. The biggest advertisers on YouTube are like TikTok, Temu, and all these Chinese companies. If you
Oh
look
yeah.
at the stuff that is mostly pushed through social media, and I'm talking about TikTok and what do you call it? YouTube, Facebook. You look at the every commercial; it's owned by Chinese companies. They don't even advertise American companies anymore.
Well, TikTok is based in China, right? It's a Chinese.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
That's
that
why I
is
don't.
every other ad on YouTube.
Yeah, I will never sign up for TikTok because there's no way those bastards are getting my personal information. No, no effing way. You know.
Well, they probably already have it anyway because I'm sure YouTube probably sold it to them already.
Oh, could be, could be.
Yeah, YouTube has partnerships with China because they're communist.
Hey, PvP, I already guarantee you have a Facebook account.
Well, yeah, that's one reason I'm here tonight because yeah, actually I do have a Facebook, but I haven't used it in many months because
Yeah.
last time I tried to access it, it wasn't working very well. So,
Well, even if you did not create one, you should have a Facebook account because someone in your contact list on your phone, there has Facebook, and they're able to, and they can gather all the information from all the information in your people's phones, and they can create a profile on the people.
oh yeah,
Facebook knows when you poop.
Yeah, see that's bullshit. That should be illegal, but it's not. Of course not.
yeah.
I mean, if that was illegal, then cigarettes would be illegal, and everything else that the government is doing is it would be illegal.
Well, there's so much bullshit going on now. I don't even actually even. I mean, I know it's happening, and I'm not happy about it, but I just can't put in the hours of the week to stress about it anymore because I know, if they want to bend you over and do what they're going to do, they're going to get you one way or another anyway. These big bloody corporations, right? So I'm just
Yes.
like I'm kind of resigned to the way the world is so screwed up now. It's just like I
Well,
can't
we have
believe.
no control over it. At our
Yeah,
age, what are you going to
exactly.
do?
It's like I don't. That's why I don't talk about politics very often because as much as I detest political parties and politicians, I can't control them. I mean, I can vote, but that doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot anymore, right? So you know.
Edge of Time says, looks like Paramount will merge with Discovery HBO in stage Hollywood. Well, they haven't. Okay, they haven't. That was just a preliminary meeting. Nothing's set in concrete. There's a few things that have to come into play first. They have to get okayed from the that it's not anti competitive, but that it's not a. But anyway, doesn't matter because when Warner Brothers was talking to them, they thought that Aquaman was going to be a success. But now that Aquaman is failing miserably at the box office,
Oh yeah.
it doesn't look like they may not have the money to buy Paramount because not only okay, first of all, Warner Brothers is already in debt. Now they're going to be in debt. Now we're talking close to $1 billion just because of Aquaman. And now if they go and they merge with Paramount, they're taking on a bunch more debt because Paramount is in the hole right now. So now they're actually saying that's probably not likely. There's another company called Skydance. They may have more clout to buy Paramount at this point.
Yeah, I was reading about that today earlier, actually, that Aquaman 2 was such a huge bomb, a
Yep.
disaster at the box office. It's like these companies are going in the hole so badly, they might not be able to do much of anything soon because
Yeah.
they're going near bankruptcy. And I just got to wonder how many more years is it going to take before Hollywood loses enough billions and billions of dollars before it finally all starts to collapse like dominoes, right? It's got to eventually.
Well, it's like Disney. For every dollar they lose, they get it reimbursed by BlackRock and those other companies. So they're not. It's not really coming out of their pocket.
It's still
The only
got to
people that are suffering, are the stockholders, and
it's still got to it's still
they
got
don't
to
seem to
end.
be stockholders are sitting on their asses doing nothing.
Yeah, it's got to end someday though. Either these companies that are funding this shit they're gonna start to go bankrupt, or the stockholders are going to rise up and thousands of stockholders are going to rise up and say enough of this shit.
Well,
We're pissed off.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. All right. Yeah, you just said it. All right, let's just use Disney as an example.
Hmm.
The majority of people, all right, let's say let's just say, I don't know, 1 million people that own stock in Disney.
Right.
Well, the thing is that each person individually only owns one or two stock. So they individually can do nothing. The problem is the big rich corporations and the crooked people own a big chunk of the company itself. They own like 49% of the stock.
Right.
So even if all these little people try to get up and complain, there's nothing they can do because they don't own a controlling interest in the company.
Right.
So yeah, that's how they've gotten away with it so far, and that's how they'll continue to get away with it. And Edge of Time says that includes Warner Brothers. Yes. Suzanne says, sorry to be such a downer, Pops, but I needed the distraction of your stream. No, you're fine, Suzanne. I'm glad you're here. I hope you I hope this helps you feel a little better. Edge of Time says, and the Warner sister Dot. Edge of Will you shut the fuck up, Pooch? Edge of Time says, wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we must learn. Basil says, I agree. I like Tubi. I agree. I like Tubi. Well, that's fine, Basil. Suzanne next says, Basil, yeah, I enjoy Tubi. Death After Dark says, they went woke and they went broke. Well, yeah, they went woke, but as long as they keep getting more money, like I said, BlackRock and those big corporations, they have endless deep pockets. So they're not, it's why it's taking so long for them to go broke. Normally they would have gone broke by now. But when you think about it, it's like, where's all this money coming from? They're still able to finance their BS. Excuse me. Edge of Time says, I like the Liberty commercials, but there isn't any variety of commercials because each show has so few sponsors. I give Limu the Emu a free helicopter ride. I'm not sure who that is. It's okay to.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it's the quality of the sponsors because, like I said, it used to be less sponsors. If you guys, anybody seen in these old game shows, it used to be like the sponsor would be Bayer Aspirin. Every commercial will be about Bayer Aspirin. I can handle that. That is no problem. What I'm talking about, it's well, big pharma, drug companies, insurance. You think about it, it's just a handful of corporations that are doing all the advertising. We don't get commercials for products like, let's say, mustard, mayonnaise, Oscar Mayer wieners. That's what I'm talking about. Normal everyday products, hamburger helper, Kraft mac and cheese. We don't get that stuff anymore. Now it's strictly the big corporations like insurance, the medical industry, big pharma, and that kind of stuff. That's all we get now. That's what I'm saying is the networks, when they sell advertising space, they can sell it to anybody. Anybody who offers, let's say they have a slot and the slot's $1 million. Anybody can pay that $1 million and get that slot. So it could be something as simple as like, let's say, candy company. But if you have a drug company that wants the same slot, willing to pay the same amount, they'll sell it to the drug company over the candy company. That's what I'm saying. We don't get any variety over the sponsors anymore now. And the sponsors are of the worst kind. They're big pharma, they're big insurance, they're the banking industry, they're the lawyers. It's all the big rich, very few that now control 99% of all advertisement. We don't have the advertising. We don't have the variety of commercials that we used to. Edge of Time says, oh, I think I already read that one. Let me flag that one here. I already read it. There we go. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you guys. My
Yeah.
voice is not up to par.
You
I
did
bet
read that
do
one.
you want me to? You need me to pick up chats?
that would help, Gorilla. I'm gonna go and I just read my soda is dried, and that's why my throat is dry. I'm gonna go grab a soda. I'll be right back.
All right. And the chats are all caught up. Huh.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I never had a problem with commercials, so.
I just don't
Well, it's
watch
good.
TV anymore. I just watch everything
Yeah.
online now because it's easier, actually. And there's
Hey, we're right
very
on
little
track for the episode The Neutral Zone. TV was just a fad in the mid 20th and 21st century. It went out of style by the mid 24th century or 21st century. They said by 2040 everybody pretty much stopped watching TV.
Yeah, I think Star Trek might have got that one right. I got a feeling in the next 50, 60 years, there might be very little people watching TV anymore. Seems to be heading that way anyway. Seems there's more and more people canceling their cable and just, going and watching stuff online these days.
Yeah. So.
So you got a big family party over the next day or two there, Gorilla, happening?
Yeah, I'm going up to my sister's on tomorrow there. So her and her kids are all gonna be there. And my parents are coming down. I think my sister's coming over. Then on
Oh,
Sunday, my aunt's coming over for duck.
great. Sounds good.
So that means I get to clean the house tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
That's
well,
what I
you
should
guys,
do.
that's why you have the built-in little helpers. That's what you got your kids for.
Yeah, tomorrow's my. Oh shit! I got people coming over cleaning.
Oh, well, yeah, well, so you're living the high life. So you actually got a hired team coming in, huh?
uh, I'm gonna have two little whiners going. Are we done yet? Yeah. Hey, welcome Taylor Swift. Welcome.
Hello, Taylor Swift. Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas.
Hi,
Yeah. Now
Taylor
are you gonna
Swift.
shake it off? And digitize his hail degrader.
You know, I was thinking when I went to get my soda, how many of you guys ever go to Bird of Prey 5's channel?
All the time.
I don't like
Oh, yeah.
a lot of you guys do. So here's my point. You know how whenever he has to take a break, he plays classic commercials, right?
Yeah.
Those are what I'm talking about with the commercials that they used to show. So when he plays classic commercials, he'll play commercials, and that's what I'm talking about. The variety they used to show would be like a Sears commercial, then there'd be a commercial for like Big Red chewing gum, then there'd be a commercial for like Oscar Mayer wieners, then there'd be a commercial. That was the kind of commercials we used to get, products. But now when you get commercials, it's a drug company, it's a pharmaceutical company, it's an insurance industry, it's a banking industry, it's a lawyer. If you've been injured in a blah 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 blah, call so and so.
Oh, yeah.
It's exactly what I'm talking about. The
Yeah.
commercials have changed. But anyway, enough of that subject. You guys have heard that enough.
Oh, yeah.
Did you read this yet, Gorilla? Taylor Swift says, Taylor Swift is laughing. Taylor Swift says, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Gap says, hello, Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another that reminds me. I don't know why. I don't know. I think the name Taylor is what reminded me. But yeah, you guys
Hey,
do know that.
Oops.
Go ahead.
I don't know if Basil was here earlier. He says, "Hey, Pops, laugh, dude."
Good to see you, Basil. Yes. But that's another thing too. Is I'm dreading, so dreading. Is that Fox actually made another Planet of the Apes movie, and they've been now. Remember now, Fox is now owned by Disney, so Disney's been delaying it, and it's like I hope they put it away permanently. I hope it never sees the light of day, because they're going to bury another franchise as soon as they release that movie.
Well, once you get delays, that's a bad sign.
Well, here's the problem, though. If they shelve it and never bring it to market, then they can write it off their taxes. But if they bring it to market, lose a ton of money, they can't write that off.
And it ruins the franchise, right?
Yeah, but if it loses them money, they go bankrupt faster because of it. Release it.
Well, you hope so. But like I said, Disney doesn't go bankrupt. They have deep pockets from BlackRock and those other big companies. All the big woke corporations are what's keeping them afloat.
Yeah, well, BlackRock will have to go bankrupt eventually too.
Or yeah, but they own so much that by the time they go bankrupt, everything will be dead. I was reading an article today. There's over 1,000. I think it said 1,200 news stations, news printings, news websites, and all this news sources, but they're owned by 3 companies total. So that's what I'm saying. You'd have to have those companies go out of business before we start seeing a change. But by then, it's going to be everything out of business. And besides, why does BlackRock do this? Because
Mm.
they're being pushed by all the Democratic senators. So it's like a food chain way at the top. It's not going to stop until we get rid of the Democrats who are in charge, and that's not going to happen. That's where all
Well,
this is coming from, obviously.
well, ain't it a lot of it George Soros funding?
He's only one person. Like I said, it's the Democrats because they own a lot. They're getting their pockets lined by these big, like the big pharma, but they're also the ones that are pushing this agenda too. Because it's not conservatives. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican. I mean, they're certainly just as bad as Democrats, but we all know who's pushing this certain agenda. I was watching this thing today about Joan Rivers. Did you guys see about that? What they were talking about on 2 weeks before she died, somebody interviewed her and they said, "Hey, do you think we'll ever get a gay pregnant president?" And she said, "We already have one, Obama." And they said, "What? Are you serious?" She goes, "Yeah." And he even got his transvestite wife or his transsexual wife. 2 weeks later, she was dead. I am not surprised. Because you remember, everybody, she did die under mysterious circumstances.
Joan Rivers? I thought she died of a botched plastic surgery.
That's what she was, right. But how often do we hear about people dying from plastic surgery, is what I'm saying. Not only did she die from a botched plastic surgery, but if you guys remember right, they were taking pictures of her dead body for some reason. Almost as if whoever hired them to kill her said, "We want proof of the dead body. We want proof of the work," like hitmen do. A lot of times when the hitmen are hired to kill somebody, to assassinate, they're asked to produce proof of it. In the old days, they would show, like, here's the severed head. But now when they assassinate somebody, they're asked to show pictures of the dead body to prove it before they get paid. And remember, that did happen. People were taking pictures of her dead body. I'm not exaggerating. Edge of Time says, "I used to sing along to commercials."
Oh,
That's what
we're
I'm talking
back.
about. When they used to have jingles, which they don't anymore. Sorry, go ahead, Gorilla.
All right, so we're back to such. And Taylor Swift said, "Yo," and we get a J for some reason. And Edge of Time says the quality of my sing-alongs varied.
I
Well, it's so funny.
don't
Matt,
know why that's on my stream. Sorry about that, guys.
what's that? Oh,
Yeah, I don't
uh,
need.
yeah. Well, my kid there, I was singing along to one of the songs there. I think it was one of Tom McDonald's songs there, and my 3-year-old comes in there and goes, "Dad, shut up! You can't sing."
God, man, if I would ever say that to one of my parents, I would expect a slap across the face. Wow, times have changed.
I don't know. I was laughing.
Well, that's why the kid gets away. Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Times have changed. But I would have expected a slap across the face. I mean, that for me, there'd have been another way to tell my parent or mother or whatever. But if I'd have said "shut up," oh my god, no, I'd have been slapped so fucking hard.
And
Yeah,
Edge Time says defund the NPR.
yeah.
National Public
I never
Radio.
talked to my parents like that in the '60s.
Yeah.
No way.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Time to change. Tell their parents to f off now, and nobody does anything about it, so the kids get away with it. So
And
that's why we see these videos of kids running rampant and robbing places and everything.
oh yeah,
Edge of
yeah.
Time says it really gyrates my scopes.
Yeah, it's like my cousin who owned a restaurant for a number of years, and he'd hire like young people, like millennials or whatever the hell and he couldn't keep them on staff. They'd work for a while, and then one day they just wouldn't show up for work. They'd just
Oh
leave.
yeah,
They wouldn't even give notice. They'd just not show up. And
yeah,
he got fed up after a while, and he just started hiring older folks like myself who have a sense of responsibility and ethics about doing the damn job, right? Because a lot of these young folks don't. I mean, I'm not painting every young person that way, because I'm sure there's some very good people. I mean, there are some young people on here I've met that are quality folks, but he just got frustrated after a while, with the lack of the work ethic thing, right, guys?
Well, that's like now you can go into a convenience store or a fast food place, and you'll be standing there waiting at the register while that idiot is on their phone. And they're going to
Mhm.
finish whatever they're doing on their phone before they help you.
Oh yeah,
Right. So that's a perfect example, right? That's how they are now.
there's some terrible, terrible customer service out there. I agree 100%, Pop. Yep, for sure. It's
So
nice
when
when
you,
that's why
yeah,
it's so refreshing when you get a really good person on customer service that actually really helps you. Like that is very, very nice, but it's getting more and more rare, right?
it is, and it's usually an older person. But I that happened to me. I remember it was several months ago. It was when I was still in Cali, and I walked into a gas station, and the guy behind the counter, he was on his phone. He was ignoring me until he finished it. He was obviously hooking up. He was some gay guy, and he was obviously hooking up. I could tell by how excited he was on his phone. And I finally had to say, "Are you gonna excuse me? Are you gonna ring me up for gas? Just a minute. Wait till I get up when I'm done with my phone." And I went off on that motherfucker.
I just would have told him, you know what? Fuck it, man. I can go to another gas station down the next block and get my gas there. It's like,
Well,
and by the way,
that's what they want you to do because
you know,
you're in their way. But no, what I do is I raise hell, and then I not only that, but I find out who the boss is, and I complain to the
yeah,
boss.
yeah, complain to the boss.
So
That's the
right, because
best
that's
thing.
what they don't want you to do. They don't want you to raise hell, and they don't want you to
Hmm.
talk to the boss, which is what I do.
Yep, yep,
Don't let them get away
exactly.
with that behavior. Yeah, do not let them get away with that behavior.
I can't think of anything that bad I've had recently, but the worst part is when you're walking around a store trying to find something, and you'll see an employee like down at the end of the aisle, and instead of you try and walk up to them, instead of them coming up to help you, they'll just like disappear, like they'll just run away, right?
Oh
that
yeah,
really that really pisses me off. It's
sounds like
like,
you're
oh,
describing. It sounds like you're describing Best Buy, or you're looking around to ask a question, and there's 4 or 5 of them in a group just talking, chatting, and laughing, and
oh, you got
ignoring
yeah.
everybody.
Best
Yeah,
Buy's horrible. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have a Canadian chain called Future Shop that was basically a Canadian version of Best Buy. They sold, stereos and TVs and DVDs and CDs and the whole gamut. And they had an amazing selection. Like I used to walk in and they had like a DVD, CD department that had like thousands and thousands of titles. Like you could walk in there and buy just about any band, TV show, movie you'd ever thought of watching or listening to, and it was right there on the shelf, for a reasonable price, right? Of course, they got shut down when Best Buy came in and bought them out. So that store is no longer in existence. Now we got Best Buy, and you walk in Best Buy, it's like they got no DVDs, they got no CDs. You try and find an employee to help you, and it's like good luck because they're usually chatting with their friends at the front of the store, right?
yep, of
It's just
course.
like, oh, I hate Best Buy. Best Buy really sucks bad, actually, generally.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to do your own homework. If you're going to go into Best Buy, know what you're going to buy.
Yep.
Don't expect to get any. And besides, they're so stupid there. I wouldn't trust any answers they give you anyway. So I
Yeah.
usually have to do my homework first when I go in there. And one of them happens to randomly walk by and say, "Can I help you?" I'll say, "No, no, I know what I'm doing."
Yeah. I just generally go on the website, see what, they've got on sale. If I'm looking for a computer or a set of headphones or whatever the hell I'm looking for, I'll just go on there and I'll look for the ones that are on sale at a good price. And then I'll just, get the item number, the make and model, and I'll just Google it and find out all the information I can about that, right? And then I'll decide if it's, actually something of good enough quality that I will actually spend money on. And then I just go in the store and I just go and get it, right? So, yeah.
Well, what makes Best Buy worse is their commission. So they're going to try to sell you a bunch of shit you don't need. Oh, you need an HDMI cable? Here's a $30 one right here. There's a 4 foot HDMI cable. Yeah, it's like a 4 foot HDMI cable. I can get that on Amazon for $3.
I just
Oh,
always
Pop.
go, yeah, I just go for
Oh,
the cheapest one because it usually works just as well.
Yeah. Well, Pop, you'd like our Ace Hardware we have downtown.
What is
There.
that? I know
So
Ace is a chain. We have one of those here.
well, as soon as you walk in the door, they ask, "Can we help you find what you're looking for?" And then
Good.
you go, "Oh," and you walk in, and like you say, "Hey, I'm looking for this." They'll tell you which aisle, and if you need them, They'll walk you down to where it's at in that aisle.
Yeah,
And
that's the good old mom and pop places. Yeah, in fact, that's a good example right there. It's a hardware. Ace Hardware is usually a franchised by a mom and pop place. But if you walk into a Home Depot or a Lowe's, don't expect that kind of shit at all, right? In fact, you guys heard about Home Depot where it's gotten to where they don't even have checkout anymore. It's all self checkout. So it's gotten to where they're forcing everybody to use self checkout, whether you want it or not.
yeah,
Yeah,
Then
that's
they'll,
good. That
then they'll just arrest you if you make a mistake.
yeah, last time I was Home Depot was maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and they still did have the cashiers at that point. Not sure if it's all gone self checkout yet, but generally, I find the Home Depot in my city here is actually not bad because I can usually find a person the first 3 or 4 minutes walking in the door that I can, ask them what section of the store something's in, and they usually direct me pretty well. So I don't have a huge problem with the Home Depot locally here, but I can understand what you're saying. Some stores obviously would vary, in quality, right?
Well, they've gotten to where they don't want to pay for labor. So they're having less and less assistants on the floor and they're having less and less cashiers.
Yeah, it's a
well,
pain in the ass. Yeah.
PvP. I should send you guys a video there. You ever hear of Zach Rushing?
I don't think
Is
so.
that a person?
Yeah, he has. I followed him on Facebook for a while. He usually has some pretty good stories there, but he's talking about how he's expected to get sued because he scared the shit out of it was either home. He didn't mention the which store it was. He's either Home Depot or what's that
Lowe's.
other, or Lowe's,
Uh huh.
and he pretty much he pretty much insulted the helper there because the kid refused to go help the old man find some plastic cover or deck screws or some kind of plastic screws or something.
That sounds about right.
It's really irritating. There, he's about ready to beat the shit out of the employee there. Then he showed him his ID on the way back. Oh, and this is where I'll be if you need any more information from me.
Yeah, I was reading a few articles lately that the grocery chain Kroger, same thing. People are going in and there's not one person behind a register. They're forcing everyone to go to self checkout. So they're getting to where they're just like Walmart, to where there's nobody at any of the registers, but there's like 200 people in the line for the self checkout. So
Yeah,
it's getting people are just getting tired of that.
we don't have Kroger or Lowe's here in Canada that I'm aware of, at least not in my
Yeah,
town.
well, Kroger may be under a different name. They're all over the place.
The last time I was at Walmart, I probably only go there like 3 or 4 times a year now because I can't stand the place. The sad thing is 3 or 4 years ago, Walmart was still a good store, but it's basically turned into garbage the last couple of years. So I rarely go there. But yeah, it's much more self checkout, even though they still do have the cashiers. But, you know, I could see it changing eventually. Yeah.
Well,
Trouble
and
with
the worst part is people the general public are not trained on how to use a register. So with the way Walmart, all those do, is if somebody makes a mistake, they'll just arrest them because you don't get a
yeah,
warning. Like if you're let's say if you're a cashier in training and you just got hired, you make a mistake and they say no, you don't do it like that. You do it like this. No, if you're a citizen and you're not an employee and you make a mistake at the self checkout, you get arrested.
not here. Here,
Oh, yeah.
just here, an employee just comes over and cancels it out and helps you, get your groceries. So totally different here in Canada, I guess.
You mean I could get arrested because they didn't train me that not to ring up my organic bananas as regular bananas because they're
Oh yeah, you heard of the old banana scheme, huh? It seems to be a big one a lot of people are using right now.
Yeah, I
What?
never had that happen here.
Well, the organic bananas and all that are about cost like 20 cents more a pound.
Yes,
But
that's a big
yeah,
scam.
but they don't have the regular stickers on them, so you have to go in there type in bananas and click which one you have.
I know it's the same thing. Like here, I have to shop at this horrible place called Safeway, and it's the same thing. You have to be very careful when you buy your produce, or because if you get the organic, they're going to charge you double. And you could ask them. You guys try this next time. Ask them what's the difference between organic and non-organic. They'll say, I don't know
Huh. Oh,
because
Pop, you
there is
saved.
no difference.
Oh,
Go
Pop, you
ahead.
saved me $2 the other day,
How's
yesterday.
that?
Because I called down their receipt. I even took a picture of the shelf. It said regular price $19.99, save $10. So it was supposed to go down to $9.99. I looked at my receipt and it said $11.99.
Of course. Yeah, because they're hoping you won't look. That's exactly what they do.
Well,
Oh yeah.
that could have easily been a programming error, because that's the only thing.
I bet you if you went back and did the same thing, it would still overcharge you. See,
No,
that's the
but
thing. It's so easy for them to get away with. That's what. See, here's what it is. Okay, if you make a mistake once, I understand, but 10 times the same one, no. And
well,
like I said, our grocery store, it happens every single time, and not every single time. Oh, oops. We're sorry, we didn't notice. Of course, they're
well,
going to do that.
this is the first time it's happened to me at Target there.
First time it's
With
happened, or first time you've noticed.
first time that I know of.
Right.
Target was awful. Target
But I don't
actually,
shop there all that often.
Target's really bad with that.
I don't shop.
Target actually tried to come into Canada 5 or 6 years ago, and they screwed up so badly. I think they lasted 2 years, and then they basically pulled out of Canada and just left because they screwed up so bad. They had empty shelves. They couldn't get any stock. You'd ask the employees, "Well, how come there's nothing on the shelves?" And they'd be like, "Oh, we can't get the supplies from the U.S." I'm like, "Well, why the hell are you open if you can't get any stock on your shelves, right?" Oh, it was horrendous. I mean, they lasted, I'd say, about 2 years, and they were expensive. They were trying to compete with Walmart. The trouble was
Right, they
Walmart.
are, but you're right. They're more expensive because what they're doing is their main clientele are wine moms.
Thing is, Walmart was generally cheaper and underpriced them on most items. So I would just shop at Walmart. After a while, I gave up on Target completely, as did a lot of Canadians. Thing is, too, you guys got to realize Canadians were used to shopping at the Target stores across the border in the U.S., like the northern U.S., because prices were definitely cheaper there with the exchange rate and everything, right? And when Target came into Canada, they just basically priced everything at Canadian prices, which were higher than what people have been used to paying for in the U.S. Target
Of
stores.
course.
So a lot of Canadians got turned off real quick in the first few months and just refused to shop there. So, yeah, that was. You ever look up Target Canada? That's probably one of the biggest bombs in retail history in this country. It was a total disaster. Like they just bombed out bad.
And Gap After Dark says, "Remember the belt and the paddle?" I think you're talking about kids. Basil says, "One and edge of time. Bring back paddleball." Yes, I agree. Taylor Swift says, "LOL," and Basil says, "Boy, go GF."
Yeah, I remember bad kids in school used to get the belt or the paddle.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah,
the principal actually had a paddle in their office.
yeah. Back in the '60s, if you were naughty, you would get your butt whipped for sure.
Well, and the difference is the parents would say, "Well, you must have deserved it." What the principal paddle would do? Well, you must have deserved it. I
That's
better not
right.
hear about that again.
You know the sad thing is though, Pop. I remember one notoriously bad bully when I was in school. He would just torture me and all the other kids because he was like this huge like kid that was like 6 foot something, right? Way bigger than anybody else. And he would do horrible things to us, just torture us as a bully. And he got paddled so many times. He'd get the strap in the office on his hands, right, over and over again. He actually took it as a badge of honor. This guy actually thought it was cool and something to brag about. So I don't know if that maybe it's some with some of these really weird sort of semi-psychotic personalities. These bullies, I don't know if it always is that effective. I just wanted to mention because yeah, it was a weird scene. I'll tell you.
Maybe he was getting beat at home.
Yeah, I think his father was abusive at home. Yeah, because he actually
That's what.
only lived
Yeah,
like he only lived down our block, like 4 or 5 houses away, and my parents and his parents actually knew each other, and I actually even stayed there for a while because my father was he could be, quite abusive at times. So my mom and I actually stayed there for a few weeks, and it didn't seem like a good vibe at their place, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, Basil says, "Boy, go get that belt." Or how about the switch? Yeah, get the old switch off the tree, and don't bring me that little twig, or I'll go out there and grab the damn branch. At the time says it really orbits my oranges.
I never heard that expression before.
And at the time says, I think Target is in trouble. They tried to charge me 609 shipping when Walmart doesn't. Yeah, no,
Mm.
yeah. Not only that, but with that boycott going on with them trying to push that gay agenda, that didn't help them at all. Basil says, yeah, old Wally World is pretty good, but you still have to double, triple check your order. They love to automate and add a tip to your bill. That's a big no go for me. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. That
I
reminds me,
always check my bill.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
every time.
reminds me. That reminds you, like I was saying before, if it was truly a mistake, just an honest mistake, then
Mhm.
well, how come then? Odds would be if it was an honest mistake, sometimes you would get undercharged, but that's not what happens. It's always overcharged, always, without
Yeah.
exception, which means it is not a mistake. I mean, it's very simple. It's as simple as that.
Well, there's
Edge
one
of
thing I
Time says,
oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to say there's one thing I like about in Canada. We have something called the scanning code of practice that grocery retailers, many of them do. They do. They are signed into that. So basically, what that means is if you go and buy an item, and there's a price on the shelf, that says like 9.99 or whatever, and you go and you put it, in the machine and scan it, and it comes up at a higher price. All you have to do is call a cashier over and say, "Hey, I've been overcharged." And if it's a $10 item or less, they have to give you the item for free. If it's over $10, I think they have to take like 20 or 30% off of the cost. So it's really, really good program because I have actually gotten stuff for free a few times
Well,
just
here
because
it,
of that.
yeah, I hear
That's
that the store I was telling you that does it all the time to us is Safeway. They're supposed to give you a discount if you catch them, and they never do. No, they'll just say, "Oh, sorry, here's the difference."
here
They
they
never
have
give
to.
you that discount.
They have to here because it's the law, right? So they
Well,
have to.
right. Well, it's like I don't know about there, but here there's no one to crack down on it, and that's why they get away with it, and they know
Okay.
that.
Because I think the last time was like maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
I bought a bottle of like olive oil, and it said on the shelf it was like 5.99 or 6.99, and it came in at like almost $10, and I just called the lady over and it's like, hey, I got overcharged on this because your shelf says it's much less. She went and checked it on the shelf, came back a couple minutes later, and she's like, yep, you're right. You get it for free. And she just, rang it through and I didn't have to pay a dime. So,
One
yeah.
time I went to buy something at Target, and it said it was on sale. I, it was an electronic device. It was like an alarm clock or a phone or something.
Okay.
And I remember it said regular price like $29, and it was on sale for 19.99. I said, okay, great. I grabbed it, and I remember when I got to the register, it rang at full price at 29. And I said to them, I said, no. I said, it clearly says 19.99 on the shelf. And I would never forget the fucking bitch goes, well, let me go check. And she went and looked, came back, goes, nope, it says 29.99. I said, what? I walked back there and she had switched the sign.
Oh, that bitch.
So that's what Target does.
Wow. Sorry to hear that. That's god awful
Oh, well,
service
then,
like
no, I
that.
don't. I didn't buy the motherfucker. I told her
Oh,
off, and I didn't buy it.
I just walk out. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. Like, it's like
Right.
you if
But that's what I'm saying is,
false
it's like
advertising.
they get away with that. They get away with it every time here.
Yeah, you
Edge of
don't hear as
Time
much.
says, well, it's like I filed a report. I'm in Arizona, and I got tired of
Uh-huh.
Safeway here overcharging me, so I filed a report with the Attorney General.
That's good.
Several months later, they sent me a reply saying, "We contacted Safeway. They said they'd never heard of you. They don't know what you're talking about."
Oh, Christ.
That was it. That was the conclusion to their investigation.
Lovely, eh?
Uh huh. Edge of Time says, if Amazon is A tier and Walmart is B tier and AliExpress is C tier, Target is in trouble. AliExpress. I think that's another one of those Chinese companies.
It is a Chinese online company. It's kind
Uh,
of like Amazon or eBay in China, but I've never
no
dealt with them
thanks. I'm
or
not going
refused to.
to.
By
Edge
the
of
way,
Time. I think it's one of those horrible commercials or advertisements that is repetitive on YouTube and Twitter. I think. Go ahead.
we lost
Yeah,
Gorilla. By the
yeah,
way, I just
Gorilla. I
want to
hope you can
mention.
come back.
I hope his internet. My internet crapped out like about 5:30, and I didn't get back online till like 6 o'clock. It was dead for like 30 minutes, and it's been doing that ever since. Well, it used to be Shaw Cable here, right? My internet
Well, yeah, I
provider.
remember you told us about that, but I have a
Yeah,
feeling you're probably going to have a lot of slow internet and outages during this holiday season because everybody's home and they're on the internet.
I just guessed it might have been just overloaded, right, with so many people online tonight. I was guessing, yeah.
Possibly. Canada gave Target the boot, says Edge of Time. Yes.
They certainly
Good
did.
for and good for you guys. It's a lose situation. Companies don't want to pay anyone. So the employees are in a bad mood. So they're not going to respect the customers. But some of the employees definitely suck. Yes, I agree. And Suzanne says, Edge of Time, we sure did no more. We sure did no more Target up here.
Yeah,
And
Target was horrible.
Taylor Swift says, but then customers are also way, way dumber than in past years. LOL. Yes.
True.
Also, I said that a lot of customers do not check the receipts after they walk out the door. LDG says, hey, sorry, Pop. Got a little too tipsy to come up, but I'll have to take a rain check tonight. All right, LDG. I'm sorry to hear you got too tipsy, but guess what? I'm glad you're having a good time.
Yeah, have a good
So,
Christmas there, LDG.
yes, LDG. Hope you're doing well, and definitely have a Merry Christmas, you and your mom.
Yeah, I've been monitoring myself tonight. I switched over to some liqueurs. It mixed in with a cup of milk, so I kind of watered it down. So I'm not too concerned tonight. I think I'm probably still doing pretty good. So
Very
didn't want to
cool.
get too hammered.
Welcome back, Gorilla.
Yeah.
Hey, Gorilla, your internet die again?
Nah, my kid likes to play with the pen that's propping up my uh my charging cord. So
Oh, it's your cord again. Okay, I've heard that one a few times this week.
hey, it's not hey, I'm not on a stream. It's not a stream with me if my computer doesn't die at least once.
That's true.
Gap says, hey, LDG. And LDG says, hey, Gap. So, Gorilla, what would it take to fix your issue? A new power adapter, a plug? I mean, what is it?
It's not the original one with it. I had to get one from a computer shop in town.
So it doesn't fit snug. Like it's kind of loose.
Basically, it's a Dell charger for an HP laptop.
Okay. Well, one of these days, let's get together from the backstage. I want you to give me the model number of your laptop, and I can help you get a power supply. I can get them really cheap, and I'll make sure it's the right one. I know what you're going through. I've been through there and done that. And so, like with my last laptop, I finally went to the effort of getting an actual HP charger, and it made a big difference.
Oh.
At least it's charging your battery. Usually, when you have an off-brand, it won't even charge your battery. It'll just power your laptop as long as it's plugged in.
Well, it charges it a little bit. It was charged for the longest time here, so.
So has anybody seen that Godzilla movie yet that everybody's raving about?
Nope.
Nope. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to because of half-hour commercials. Did you guys hear they're going to re-release it in black and white?
That's weird.
I'm glad it's very successful, and it's Toho. It's no American studio, which makes me so happy. All the American studios, their movies are bombing left and right, and that reminds me, they're afraid to release their movies in 2024. A lot of movies and studios are holding their stuff back until 2025 because this has been such a disaster this year.
Yeah, I heard it's been pretty brutal overall. Yeah.
Yep. And you know what's stupid is and ignorant is they blame us, the public, when it's like, no, they've been making shitty movies. It's just that we, the public, we have not changed. We're still the same public, and we're not going to pay to see garbage. We're not part of this new agenda that they want to push on us. We're not part of this quote modern audience like Disney thinks they want to sell it to. It's like,
Right.
no, we're the same old audience that's been around for over 100 years, and you're not going to feed us garbage.
Yeah, I've been watching stuff since I was a kid in the '60s, and my attitudes and mentality about entertainment have not changed. Well,
No,
they've grown and moderated and become more sophisticated over the decades, but they certainly haven't changed to any large extent.
right. Well, especially when you have a big sector of the buying public out there, the people with the money are families. They
Hmm.
know when their kids are being groomed.
Oh
They know
yeah.
when their kids are being indoctrinated. People aren't stupid. I mean, with Disney, I admit it took them a little while to finally realize it, but now that they do, that's why they're avoiding every Disney movie like the plague. Thank God, finally.
Yeah, I have no interest in watching any of that stuff. It's just like nope. I'll just save my money, save my time. You know.
Yep. Philip Jamie says LDG. LDG, hello, says Suzanne. There we go. And Taylor Swift. There were a few successes this year. Mario Brothers, Barbenheimer, Taylor Swift, Bayou, John Wick 4. Okay, out of all those, okay, I agree, but what is Bayou?
Never
I
even
haven't heard
heard
of
of
that
it.
one. Haven't heard of that one.
Neither have I. I've heard of the other ones.
Yeah, I heard the John Wick one that's supposed to be really good.
I heard the John Wick one didn't do very well. I heard it didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and not only that, though, we also had, and that makes me laugh because I always hated this franchise. But the last Mission Impossible movie bombed, and I'm so happy.
What one? Oh, Mission
You-
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm so glad it bombed because I've always hated it. I don't
I
like
heard
Tom
it did pretty
Cruise.
good.
Oh no, it lost money. It was the first one that did lose money. I think
How
people
many?
are finally starting to realize it.
How many of those bloody things have they made now? It must be like the sixth
Too
one or
many.
something.
Dozen? Oh no, it's more than
Ridiculous.
six.
God.
It is, and they're terrible. There's basically the same one over and over. That's why I kept thinking, well, it's going to go on. When are the audience going to finally wake up and mature and stop paying to see it? Gap After Dark says, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, Gap After Dark says, I want to make sure I didn't skip anybody. Hey, Phil. And Edge of Time says, no sequel will be left behind. Right. Taylor Swift says, Beyonce. Is that the Bayou? I don't know.
Is that Beyonce the
Beyonce.
singer?
Beyonce.
Taylor Swift says, it cut off my text, lol.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he's talking about. He's apparently Beyonce must have done something similar to what Taylor Swift did a concert movie and released it to theaters.
So was it a movie called Beyonce, the creature from the Bayou?
I think we're thinking two different things here, actually.
I don't know because Beyonce.
Well, I know Beyonce is like a pop singer, which I have no
fat and
interest in.
ugly, fat and ugly.
But yeah, never heard of Bio or whatever though. Never heard of that one at all. So
Taylor Swift says no. LOL is laughing. I'm out of touch, guys, and especially when it comes to movies. Like I said, the last movie I paid, other than I saw Stan and Ollie on a small independent mom and pop theater when it came out. But other than that, the last mainstream movie I paid to go see was 2009, and that was Avatar. And that was so bad. I will never again go to see another movie at a theater for the rest of my life.
I don't know. I enjoyed watching Avatar.
That's fine. I know a lot of people did. It made money. But number one, I didn't like the movie. Number two, it was like a half-hour commercial. So between the two, when I walked out of that theater, I said never again. James Cameron, I don't like it's his formula. It's like with Titanic. Half of that movie was a bad love story, and that was the same thing with that stupid Avatar. All I remember is a horrible love story, and a whining bitch that was the main star. Through half of it, it's like no, I was out. Taylor Swift says Beyonce the pop singer. LOL. Bayou was a misspelling.
okay, that's quite a misspelling, I gotta say.
It sounds like probably autocorrect. Uh,
Speech to
Edgetimes
text.
says AliExpress greater than Temu or Wish. Oh, they all sound like crap.
Hey Taylor Swift, are you using speech to text? 'Cause I can almost spot those there. That seems like a speech to text.
And I'd rather watch Beyonce, the creature from the bayou. Sounds pretty good. I'll watch that one. Cam Cam, hello Cam Cam. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
This is Pop Culture, High Pop, Gorilla, PvP, and Chat. Merry Christmas, everybody.
yeah. Hey there, C4.
Merry Christmas, Cam Cam. Oh man.
No, it's like I see what the little girls are paying to see, and it's usually people that are grotesquely obese on stage, and they're wearing hardly anything, scantily clad, and they're twerking. And I that it pushes all the wrong buttons with me. I can't do it. I can't stand it. And Taylor Swift says, "No, I can't type very well." LOL. That's okay. You're forgiven. Cam Cam says, "Edge of time, hail and Merry Christmas." Edge of time says, "It's Cam Cam." Yes, it is. So glad Cam Cam's here.
I have noticed that Microsoft seems to get worse every month, trying to put more stuff on our computers that I don't want. Like I turned off the autocorrect spelling months ago because I just got so fed up with it, right? And now it's like you'll go to a certain part of the web page and you'll get some pop-up thing about, trending now, or it's just like, go away, Microsoft. I
Are
don't
you still
care about.
using that Microsoft browser?
Oh yeah, I am.
That's your problem. Yeah,
That's the only one. That's
I
I
don't
can.
get any of
That's
those issues.
I can't get anything else on YouTube to work if I try the other ones. I just can't. So,
Well, I know you're the only one I know because everybody else uses. You're the only one I know who uses the Microsoft browser. I'll put it that
well,
way.
I don't have much of a choice right now because otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you guys tonight. So,
Well, I know I'm using Brave, and it seems to be fine.
oh, I can use Brave, but I just can't log into an account on here because it won't
On what?
recognize me.
Well, we fixed that at one point. What happened?
Oh, I don't know, but I
Yeah,
still
I
can't get it
helped
to work.
you, and then LDG did.
Yeah, but that's
But
so long
anyway,
ago. I can't remember. It's not working now. So
no big deal.
anyway, this still works okay. It's not
But
that bad.
another thing that helps: turn off automatic updates.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, I turn a lot of stuff off. Yeah.
yeah, good. I mean, that way you I'll at least like when there's an update because I'm running 10 Windows
Me
10, and
too.
there's an update. It'll at least ask me, and I'll say hell no, rather than it doing it automatically.
Oh
But
yeah,
sometimes it'll still be a pain in the ass. It'll shut down my computer right in the middle of whatever and just reboot and then update. And I don't like when it does that.
that's weird. Mine never does that for some reason.
Mine does. I'll know because I'll leave it on. I don't. I only would reset it every now or reset or reboot every now and then. But a lot of times I'll just leave it on and I'll close the lid, and I have it set to where when I close the lid, it does not reboot or go shut down.
Right.
But I'll just close the lid at night, and then the next day when I lift up the lid, it'll be on the login screen. I'll be, oh hell no, not again, damn it.
That's weird. It doesn't do that for me. I mean, there's a little thing in the bottom of my, on my panel here at the bottom of the screen where, it says Windows 11 is available if you want to click on it, which of course I never do because I think Windows 11 is horrendous. I mean, because that's
It
on
is.
my work computer that my boss gave me, which I have on the opposite side of the room here on my other desk. I think Windows 11 is kind of crap, actually. So I'm
It
very
is.
happy to stay with 10. Quite contented. 10 works for me anyway.
I miss XP and Vista.
Vista
Vista,
wasn't.
my God, Vista was the worst they ever made.
I don't know. All my games that I own runs on Vista.
God, that's so long ago.
Oh,
That's like what,
well, wait a
10,
minute.
20
If
years ago?
that's, yeah, it was at least, yeah, 20. Yeah, if that's the case, Gorilla, Vista did not last very long because it had so many issues. They hurried up and when it moved on to another operating system. So any and most programs that ran off Vista, they had updates where it would run on the next operating system. So whatever they were, you might be able to update it.
Well, I can't seem to find Sim Golf to get it to work.
I can't
Do
even
they
remember what came after Vista now, actually.
Windows XP? Why? think maybe LDG will know more than I have,
XP
more than I
wasn't
will.
bad.
Well,
No,
XP,
it wasn't bad. It lasted a lot longer.
maybe it was
Yeah.
XP that's the one I really liked. Then I had computers with Vista and Windows with XP.
Yeah, I think XP was much better than Vista. Actually, come to think of it, Gorilla.
I don't know. I miss my Sim Golf. I want to play it.
Maybe
Microsoft has had so many
maybe it's
damn
been
versions.
discontinued.
Yeah, maybe it's only available on older
Yeah,
systems.
Max is company with Max.
If they don't update a game, though, it could be just obsolete, right?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it was discontinued. Maybe it didn't sell very well or something.
Well, it was a very popular game.
It was or was not.
It was.
Well, then they
It,
would have then they would have updated it if that's the
it's
case.
it's part of the Sid Meier's collection.
Well, then you'd be able to find it if it was popular. I mean, that's how you can tell. I don't know. But usually, if it's gone, that means the company didn't find it worth updating.
I don't know. Or the company could have gone under too.
Not if the game was popular. If it was
Well,
okay, I'll give you an example. If the game is popular and the company's going to go under, somebody would buy them up because the game was popular. But usually, the only time something fades into obscurity is when it's not very popular and it doesn't sell a lot. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, if there's anybody out there in the chat that knows more, please feel free to correct me because I do not know everything and I make
yeah,
mistakes quite often.
yeah, because it was with EA Games and the subsidiary, like EA Games was the mother company, and then
Yeah, Electronic Arts was big.
the subsidiary was or the under brand was Maxis.
Subsidiary.
Maxis.
I remember Maxis.
Yeah, yeah, that's like with your Sim City and your uh, uh, few other all your Sims games.
Yeah, SimCity was around for a long time.
Yeah, and I actually, yeah, I was a pain in the ass to get SimCity 3000, but
They had, I remember they had Sim Roller Coaster, Sim Carnival. There's a whole bunch of offshoots.
yeah,
Gap up to Dark says, hey, Cam Cam. And hello, Cody Guy, how are you doing? Merry Christmas, says happy holidays. Cam Cam says, you all ready for Christmas? I've been eyeing the spiral ham and the maple syrup I'm going to glaze it with. Chris says he can't come soon enough. Oh, that sounds delicious. I wish I had an oven big enough for that. I bought a portion ham, but I'm just going to slice it and cook it by the slice because I don't have an oven to do that kind of stuff in. But I wish I did.
Yeah.
They have turkey right now on sale, a butterball turkey for 87 cents a pound. I wish I could buy one, but no oven.
Yeah, I've just kind of run out of money. I get some money, pour more money in probably Thursday night, Friday morning, but for the next 5 days, I'm pretty well broke. So I do have a little, one of those little half pre-cooked hams in the freezer, which I actually should take out tonight. Come to think of it, because I'll cook that on Monday, Christmas Day,
That's what
and
I have. Is it's like a half,
yeah.
but mine's in the refrigerator.
Yeah, I had it last year, and it's okay. It's nothing, no screaming hell, but it's decent, right? And I just, man, the turkeys were just too expensive this year, and I was going to go and get one store had them for $18, and of course I go there, and it's like, oh, the freezer died, and we had to throw them all out because they weren't probably safe to eat. I'm
Well,
like,
then
oh
you
well,
ask for
that's
a
right.
rain check. Ask for a rain check. That's what I always do.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought, you know what, fuck it. I'm not even going to bother with. I actually in the back of my mind was thinking I don't want to go through the hours. I'll be basically working for half a day to cook a bloody turkey anyway. So I just
Well,
thought, you know what, I'll eat the ham.
most people aren't aware of rain checks, but I know about it. It's an old-fashioned thing,
I
but
usually get them.
most
Yeah,
stores will honor them.
I usually get them. I don't know if that store does actually do rain checks anymore, but I just walked out and I thought, you know what, I just don't even care about doing a turkey this year. I'll just cook the ham because I throw the ham. It's pre-cooked anyway, so I just throw it in the oven for like an hour, and I can eat, right? So
Yep, there you go. Cam
Yeah.
Cam says Gap after dark. Hi Gap. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I got my duck ready.
You got your
quack
duck
quack.
ready. Duck duck goose.
How much did the duck cost?
It didn't cost me a thing.
Did you shoot it yourself?
No, it's give it to me.
Oh, that's
Do,
nice.
does duck go on sale like ham and turkey for the holidays?
No, not really, but you can find it more easily.
Oh,
It
okay.
can be a pain to find them.
What's the average of price per pound for a duck, or what the cost of a whole duck, or however it works
Between 18 to 23 bucks.
for
That's
a
not
duck?
bad.
Yeah,
How many
you're getting
pounds
over
is that?
5 pounds. It's over 5 pounds. This one here is over 5 pounds. Is like 22 bucks.
Or is it already cleaned?
Yes, it's clean. You just put it in the oven or put it on the grill or the smoker.
Okay,
Nice.
gotcha.
Yeah, I got the ham. My ham for free too. It was given to me, and I just noticed when I was doing a bit of shopping in the last couple of days, my local supermarket had them on sale for 11.99 for the same, pretty much the identical thing. So that was good. You get like a $12 ham for free. That was nice.
Yeah, sometimes you'll put them on sale. Like if you spend so many dollars, you'll get a free ham or a turkey or something. It's like, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I've got the points program. Once I save 10,000 points, I can get $10 worth of free groceries, and I'm probably close to 7,000 points now. So I imagine the next few weeks, by the new year, I'll probably get up there and get some free groceries eventually.
Okay, cool. That what store is that? What chain?
It's called the Independent Grocer. It's like 3 blocks
Oh
away from
yeah,
where I live,
I used to
and
have a satellite where I hacked all the Canadian channels, and I remember the commercials for the greengrocer.
it's a great store actually. Because I mean, most points programs are a joke, right? Most of them suck. Some places I've been building up points for years, and I still don't get nothing. But often, if you got the points card, it's like you can go in if they got items on with that week for the members. I'll get often stuff for like 50% off, like toilet paper. I bought toilet paper like 2 months ago. Regular price 7.99 for 12 rolls. They had it on for like 4.99. So I went and I just bought four of them because that was the limit, right? And I thought, well, hell, I'll just go and stock up while I can, and throw them in the cupboard. It's like hell of a deal, right? You know,
Fair
so
enough.
it's a really good program actually, and they have all kinds of stuff that you get a discount on if you as long as you have your member card. So it's really good. Yeah, and
That definitely helps.
It's not just good at independent though. It's also good at the Shoppers Drug Marts and the Superstore. So there's like three different outlets where you can use the same card to get discounts on stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Are there any certain foods that are for sale in the U.S. that are banned in Canada?
Gosh, I'm really not sure of that. That's a good question, actually.
'Cause I know
I
There's a
can't
there's a lot
there's a
we
lot.
have that. Sorry,
I
go
can't
ahead.
think of anything offhand. Come to think of it, but I suppose there might be. I don't know.
I know there's a lot.
Well, well, the problem
There's
is it's if it's
What's
getting
that?
shipped internationally, it's shipped in ingredients. That's why they do.
they do what?
Well, if it's getting shipped to like Europe or Canada and that, if the ingredient's banned in that country, they'll just change it to a different ingredient.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I know there's a whole shitload that are sold here that are not allowed in the UK and Japan and several countries, like a lot of food colorings and certain dyes, preservatives, stuff like that.
Could be. Yeah, food colorings and dyes could be quite possible actually here in Canada, Pop. I also know, we won't import, like milk or beef from the states either, because a lot of your
Mad
milk and
cow
beef down there
disease.
has hormones and stuff in it, and ours are basically hormone free up here because it's just the law, right? You can't put a bunch of hormones into the dairy products, or the steaks or the meat products. So yeah, so that would
Right.
probably be a no go.
Yeah, here they inject them with a whole bunch of nasty shit.
Yeah, I've read about that over the years, and it doesn't sound good. And actually, there's some stuff like there's. What am I thinking in Britain or Australia? They have that paste, Vegemite. That's the thing I'm thinking of. Vegemite is actually outlawed here. They don't allow it into Canada for some reason. I've always heard Vegemite's pretty disgusting anyway. So
I've
What
heard
is
it's
Vegemite?
popular. I know
it's
they
like
buy it in a jar. It's a spread. They use it for like
like a
sandwiches and stuff.
spread you'd put on your crackers or something, right? Now here it's really pretty awful tasting, so I've never worried about it.
I know it's popular in Australia.
And the Brits love it too in some parts of Britain, I'm sure. Yeah.
There is a YouTube channel that I sub to, and he talks about food. He'll review different kinds of food, and every now and then he'll get where somebody sends him can of food from overseas, and he'll review it. And he did cover Vegemite once. So, like Vegemite, for example, like I can't go to the store and buy it because they don't import it, but
Right.
somebody from Australia could send it to me, and I would get it.
Yeah, I suppose that could probably be feasible if somebody, if they
Yeah,
weren't too specific on the packing label. I mean, I've never tried to send food over a border though, because I don't know what the regulations are, and you might have to fill out some extra paperwork. I'm guessing if you're sending food products out of country. So I just have never bothered with it.
I don't
To be
think they
frank,
ask for any of that if it's through the mail.
yeah.
I know at the airport, sure, but if it's through like FedEx or something, I don't think they ask any of those questions. You just send it in a package like anything else.
I know there's some things like a lot of the potato chips we have here are quite different than one in the States. Like, have you ever heard of cheddar and bacon potato chips?
I don't know. I don't buy a lot of potato chips. They might have them here.
We have bacon and cheddar. Also, the big one we have ketchup flavored potato chips. I'm pretty sure you don't have those in the U.S.
I
They're
haven't
ac-
heard of them.
they're actually pretty good. Actually, I don't buy them often, but every once in a while.
So would that be the same as like taking regular potato chips and dipping them in ketchup?
It's just the flavoring, I guess they put on the chips, right? Basically,
Yeah.
it's like sour cream, onion, or salt and vinegar, that kind of thing, right? They just flavor it.
I wonder if they're patented where another company can't produce them.
I don't think so, because the local supermarket I shop at often they have their generic brand, their in-store brand,
Yeah.
and they have those flavors. And then you have companies like like Lay's or some of the major companies, which probably cost you twice as much if you buy the brand name, but they have the same flavors. So I don't think it's really a patented thing, actually.
Yeah, see that's the problem is here is the big companies they buy out the entire shelves. So when you go to get chips, everything's Lay's. You go to buy cereal, everything's General Mills or Kellogg's. You go to buy candy, everything is M&M Mars.
Oh yeah,
They pretty much forced all the other brands off the shelves, which really stinks.
I have
There's no
heard about
variety
that.
anymore.
I have heard about that where the major companies will just buy out all the shelf space and
They
screw the
do.
smaller
They
guys. Yeah.
do. Yeah, like fucking M&Ms. You'll go buy this candy aisle, and there's like I'm not exaggerating, like 50 flavors of M&Ms, but you won't find like any of the good old classic candy bars or any of that stuff anymore.
Fortunately, that's not the case here. We still have a lot of our generic house brand, products on the shelves. So,
Oh, house
because
brand, sure. Like if I go to Safeway, yeah, they'll have the Safeway brand of stuff.
yeah,
Excuse me. But I'm talking about like with candy. If I want to go buy like let's say an Uno bar or a thousand a marathon bar. I mean, all these candies I'm mentioning are still for sale, but now they've been forced off the shelf because there's 50 different varieties of M&Ms. So if I want to buy anything like that, I've got to buy them like on Amazon through the
mm,
mail.
that's not good.
No, it's not like a milkshake. They used to have candy bars here. They called milkshakes. You can go to the store and buy them.
Oh
Not
yeah,
anymore, but you can get it through Amazon.
yeah. We
They
can
just
still get stuff like Smarties and Aero
right. Rocky
bars, and
Road was another one you could get at the store. Not anymore.
yeah, we
Three
don't have that here.
Musketeer. Not anymore.
Yeah, a lot of those brands we don't have up here actually, but I can find candy bars around if I look. I mean, often they're by the checkouts on the checkout stands on the shelf. So
Yeah, that's how it is here. They want the kids to grab them.
yeah, I'm
But
not a
you know,
big, I'm not a
candy
big can,
bars.
I'm not a candy bar eater most of the time anyway. I
Well, I
try and
used to
stay
be,
away
but
from
now
sweets.
I used to be, but now they're like 1 ounce and they're like $2 or $3. It's like
Oh
no,
God,
no, not gonna
yeah,
do it anymore.
yeah. It's just not worth it, right? It's just too expensive. I agree.
I was watching a
Well,
video on YouTube today talking about the shrinkflation has hit fast food, where the burgers and everything have shrunk and they've gone up in price. And I'm thinking, I'm so glad I don't go to fast food anymore.
yeah, the best deal I can get on fast food now is if I pay like $10, I can go to Burger King when they're having a special, and I can get like two Whoppers,
Are you
a
sure the
five and a five.
right? Are you sure the Whoppers are still the same size?
Oh, they're not as good as they used to be. No, definitely not.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like they were showing McDonald's, they showed a fish fillet sandwich. And I'm not kidding. It looks like it. And the guy even had to say, "This is not a slider, you guys. This is not a slider. This is a fish sandwich." And he can hold it with 2 fingers. And I'm thinking, well, God, what a ripoff! What a
Oh, I
ripoff!
remember. I remember young.
Bidenomics for you.
Oh, when I was young in the '60s and '70s, you could go to a burger place and you get a burger with a huge bun, a great meat patty. You get lettuce, cheese, tomato, the whole 9 yards, and have an awesome burger. And it's like you never get that anymore. I go oftentimes. There'll be like maybe one little crappy piece of lettuce, no tomato, no cheese, and I'm like, I'm paying like more than I ever did for it. It's like, nah,
Yep.
I don't do it. It's just
Nope.
like, nope.
No, because
Yeah.
what they're doing is they know that people like us, the older generations, they know, well, screw them. At least the young dumb kids will buy it, which is true. The young dumb kids will go and buy right up because they don't know the
Yeah,
difference.
I guess, but when I go to a place and they want to charge me like 50 cents for a slice of cheese, it's like, no, fuck that. I'm not paying 50
50
cents for.
cents, my God! Here a slice of cheese is like $1.50.
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, whatever you're paying, you shouldn't have to pay extra. If you're paying, $5 or $6 for a burger, they should be able to throw on a bloody cheese slice, as far as I'm concerned, right?
Right, like here, if you pay, like let's say a burger is $8, and you say I want an extra slice of cheese, guaranteed that's going to be at least another $1.50. If you say I want an extra patty, then it's going to be an extra $2.50 or more. It's just like it's
Yeah.
totally ridiculous. It's a total.
Well, it is. I mean, I can go probably buy a dozen cheese slices at the supermarket for $5 or $6 or
You
whatever the hell
can,
it is.
and it's
And
that cheap. It's
yeah,
not even real cheese, right? It's that cheap processed
well,
cheese
it's that
spread.
processed crap, yeah. But there's no
Hey,
way they should be charging you so much.
Yes,
BVP,
Gorilla.
you find that crappy that you pay $12 for 12 slices?
No, no, not $12.
Well, that's what you said.
No, you pay like I think I said like four 99 or $5.99.
I could get a dozen cheese slices for 2.45 at Walmart.
Yeah, but that's
Processed American cheese
No, this is
spread
the
or
real.
whatever.
This is the real cheese. If I want if I want that processed American cheese, I can spend $1 on that.
well, obviously you have different prices in your store than I do.
Right. Well, he's in the middle. He's in the right where he's at. Everything's cheaper compared to the border states.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff ain't cheap here. It's like that's why I only usually shop when stuff's on sale because then I can get it at a reasonable
But
price.
his, but your wages are also much lower too, Gorilla. So it kind of balances out. Like California, yeah, we'll pay double the price of a burger that you will, Gorilla, but the wages pay more.
What's the
So
average wage? What's the average wage there, if I may ask?
Minimum wage is like 10.05, but
yeah,
Ouch.
I'm sitting at almost 17. So,
well, yeah, because you probably worked your way up, right?
well, it's factory work.
17's good though. Like I'm getting 18 an hour Canadian, which is definitely higher than minimum wage here, but 17 is actually really good.
It is where he lives. 17 is good, so that's good.
Yeah, you must be
But
like up.
he says it's factory work too. That's also hard.
Well, that's hard, yeah, on your body. Yeah, like I just sit on my ass and talk on the phone all day, so $18 ain't bad for my job.
And I'm gonna get
Uh,
caught up on the chat really quick. Can says Goldenberg's peanut chews out of Philly could only get here at Rite Aid stores. got bought by Walgreens by peanut. Yeah, that's what every time they get bought up, right, they disappear. Hello,
Sucks.
Herc. Herc 130 says, "Hey guys, I was visiting Klobby. What's up? Well, good to see you, Herc. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by."
I heard.
Taylor Swift says,
Hey, Herc.
"Hello, Turk. Hello, Turk," says Taylor. And hello, Hop. Good to see you. Long time no see, sir. Good evening, everyone. I
Hello.
still check out Hop. I do come by your channel every now and then and say hello. So yeah, it's good to see you, sir. Of course, we're talking about stupid stuff. We should be talking about, I don't know, pop culture or whatever, instead of groceries, prices, and the cost of living.
Yeah, I'm just going to be back in a minute, guys. I'll be about 2 minutes. Be back
Go
soon.
for it.
I'm gonna probably bounce here in a little bit because I got a long day, got a long couple days here ahead of me.
Well, okay, if I don't get anybody else on here, I probably might end up calling it a night as well. It
Oh,
sounds like maybe since Hurt came through, maybe Clobby's wrapping it up as well.
yeah. Well, Pickles said he was gonna come on. I thought.
Yeah, no, he said they got a little tipsy, drank a little much, too much. So he said maybe another time. Suzanne Eckstein says, "Yeah, minimum wage is $14 in Saskatchewan. My boy makes 16 an hour where he's working. Not too bad for 14. No, no, that is good. Uh, in the U.S., you can't work if you're a 14-year-old unless you get a work permit from a school.
Yes, you can.
Well, I mean, not where I was living.
Uh.
I had to get permission from the school because they didn't want kids dropping out of school and going to work. So to discourage it, you had to pretty much. What they did was the schools, the high schools, they would have a work program where you have to, it's like a counselor, and you'd have to go and get permission to work as long as you were going to school so many hours a week. And that's what I had to do when I dropped out of school.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago. Sorry,
Well,
go ahead.
Minnesota's rule was like no factory where you obviously couldn't hire a 14-year-old for the factory and all that, but like I could go wash dishes and do all kinds of farm work. It didn't matter. But during the school year, it was for 14 and 15-year-olds, no more than 3 hours a day, and they could not work past 7 o'clock on the weekdays. I think it was 9 o'clock on the weekends. But then
Yeah,
in
go
the
ahead.
summertime, it changed to it changed to 9 o'clock, and you could work no more than 12 hours in the summertime.
Right, that's kind of how it was in California. So many hours a day, and you couldn't work too late. Excuse me. Hurt says, "I've been watching that Canadian production of Son of a Critch. It is really good, a cross between Wonder Years and Northern Exposure. I have been entertained by that show." Well, that's cool, Herc.
I don't think I've
Suzanne
seen
says,
that one.
Suzanne says, "Harlem is also homeschooled pop."
I just wanted to
Wait,
mention since
Harlem, are you talking about in New York? Harlem? Oh,
that's
no,
all.
her grandson. I think she's talking about her grandson. Got it.
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead, BBB.
no, I was just going to mention since you brought up pop culture a couple of minutes ago. Which Frankenstein movie are you going to be doing on the next stream when you do it next week? Or I mean the
Oh,
week after.
is Hammer next?
Yep. I think you said a Frankenstein one.
Okay, then it'll be, I think it's Curse of Frankenstein. I'm looking it up now. It's the very first one with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, I believe.
Okay.
It'll be like 1957.
Oh, we want the freaking hooker though.
The uncut one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time I checked, you still had the Schwarzenegger film up on community page. So I was just wondering.
Oh, that's only because I haven't had a poll since then. And Herc says, "Hey, Suzanne, I haven't been able to say hi to you in a few weeks." Hello, hi. And Suzanne says, "Herc 130, hiya." Yeah, because normally I would have already posted it, but since this is Christmas week, that's why I haven't changed anything in my community tab yet. But
Yeah.
bear with me here. I'm looking at Peter Cushing's uh, Internet Movie Database page, and I'll pull it up for you. He goes way back. By the way, this is for PvP. Do you know where Peter Cushing got his first start? Do you remember?
I do not actually.
In the Laurel and Hardy movie A Chump at Oxford.
Wow, he goes that far back.
He goes
Wow,
that far back, right?
gosh, wow, that's amazing.
Revenge of Frank. Oh, Curse. Yeah, I was right. Curse of Frankenstein, 1957.
Okay.
I was thinking though, is that what's up next at the Hammer Horror? I was trying. I need to keep it a schedule up because I know I'm supposed to rotate. So if I'm supposed to do it right without making mistakes, I guess I should make a schedule.
Yeah, I think you said Hammer Horror would be the Frankenstein one. I guess it's not this coming week, but the following week in January, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm supposed to rotate through four of them, whatever that is. I
Yeah.
know one of them is a choice between myself and Nemesis of Eden, and then another one is supposed to be Hammer Horror, and then there's supposed to be, I think it was Classic Horror, is one of the categories, and then another one was letting everybody vote on titles. I think that was the four different ones.
Well, we had the Schwarzenegger one last time, and then I think the time before that we did The Fly, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and the
So
Schwarzenegger one was my choice.
yeah, so I think we're probably due for the for the Hammer Horror one in January, January 2nd or
that
whatever it is.
that sounds good. That sounds like a good way to start off the new year.
Mm.
Gab Gab says, Suzanne greets my friend. Merry Christmas. Very cool. Yeah, I was looking a couple days ago at the filmography of Hammer. My goodness, they've got so many movies. It's going to take us, and that's a good thing. It's going to take us a long time to get to the Hammer movies.
Well, they went what from the 50s into the early 70s, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah, and then they were, like I said, they were making their movies when a lot of the horror movies in America were like the B, like Attack of the Crab Monsters and stuff like that. So we weren't getting very much serious horror in the U.S. at the time.
Mm. Yeah, probably the best U.S. ones going in like the 60s were probably the Vincent Price flicks, and a lot of the Roger Corman movies were
Well, yeah, but
pretty
those
good.
were like, yeah, but those were low budget. I mean, they were good, but I'm talking like good, at least moderate budget,
Oh yeah,
sophisticated, even color. Well, War of the Worlds is an exception. That was 1958, right?
yeah, something like
58,
that. Yeah,
57. Right. So that's what I'm talking about. We got the Time Machine in 1960.
great
I
movie.
think it was. I think it was 60. But that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about A level.
Right. Yeah, I guess Hammer kind of were like semi A level, weren't they? I don't know if they were
Yeah.
double A level, but
If it wasn't for them, I think a lot of the drive-ins would have went out of business because
mm,
it seemed like that was mostly what was dominating the drive-ins at the time. I remember when I was a kid, and it was like when you went to the drive-in, they obviously had the double feature, but
hmm
the Hammer movie was always the first one, the main feature, and then the second one was the B American-made movie.
huh, okay.
Which reminds me, I saw this YouTuber, and I don't remember the name, thank goodness, because he was such a fool. I erased it from my mind. And he made a list of the top 10 haunted house movies.
Huh.
And I was thinking, I love haunted house movies, so I'll check this out, what this guy has to say. And it's like, and by the time I get to the number one, I'm like, this guy's a fool. Oh my God. And you can tell he's probably like 20 years old because he mentions that these horrible remakes,
Oh yeah,
like, right, the horrible, really bad CGI remakes instead of the originals. And he made no mention of Legend of Hell House, which is the biggest mistake of all.
yeah, that's a great movie. Legend of Hell House is awesome. I love that film.
Right? He didn't even mention it. And it's like, my God. And then you call yourself a connoisseur of horror movies. It's
Well, I'll
like,
never forget
nope.
one time I looked at a list of like the 100 greatest TV episodes some idiot had put up on here, and half of it was like anime shit that I never heard of, right?
Oh, God, yes.
And I like, well, I'm fucked. Like, I know this is going to be garbage watching, looking at this shit. So I just, after about 5 minutes, I just gave up because it was so god awfully bad. It was like none of the great classic shows mentioned, of course.
Yeah, you can always tell the age of the person who posts whatever it is you're looking at because
Yeah,
they don't have anything to base it on, and they have no experience of older cinema or television, and they're usually picking up stuff that's. I mean, they'll mention stuff that was outright bombs, terrible, god awful stuff, and
yeah.
it bombed and failed, and they'll be like, "Oh, that was my favorite," and I'm like, "Oh goodness."
Oh yeah, it's kind of tragic. I'm
And
so
without,
glad I
I'm
grew
trying
up
not
when
to
I did.
insult anybody. I'll try not to insult anybody, but I'm including a lot of Mel Brooks movies in there.
Yeah, Mel had some great movies, but he had some real stinkers too.
Well, for the last 20 or 30 years, they were all stinkers.
Yeah.
Cam says Herc 130, Merry Christmas, Herc and Lady Herc. Gap After Dark says, Hey Herc 130. And Gap says, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm getting sleepy. Sending well wishes and great good vibes to everyone. Well, you too, Gap. And thank you for stopping in. I hope you
Yeah.
have a great night.
Merry Christmas.
And Herc 130 says, Merry Christmas. Herc 130 says, Cam Cam's Crash Courses. And Cam says, Gap After Dark, Merry Christmas, have a great night. And Suzanne Eckstein says, Cam, happy Yuletide blessings. Very cool. Yeah, for those of you guys that are going to be with your families, your friends, um, don't take that lightly. And you're very, very fortunate. I miss my family and friends. Where I'm at now, I'm like over 1,000 miles away from anybody I knew. So, yeah, but like I said earlier, it'll just be me and my pooches for Christmas.
Yeah,
All my
yeah.
family and friends are like way over in California.
Me too. It'll just be me, myself, and I sitting on my lonesome here over the next couple of days. But I'll be seeing my cousin and his lovely wife on Saturday the 30th. So that's not too many days from now. So I'm looking forward to that. Kind of gives me something to look forward to right at the end of the year. So that's not too bad.
Yeah. Now you said that your apartments don't allow pets of any kind, or what?
Yeah, I could get a kitty cat, but I just don't want the responsibility right now in my life. I have a hard enough time looking after myself, much less a pet. So I
Uh,
just won't bother.
so they allow cats and not dogs. Is that right?
Yeah, they don't allow dogs.
What if that's because of barking?
Probably because of the noise, I'm guessing, because cats usually don't bark too loud, right? So,
No, but they roam all over the place and shit everywhere.
oh yeah, well, that's why I don't own a cat. Like cause sometimes I could go out and be away for hours and hours, and I don't want to come back to the cat like, destroying the furniture or something, right? So yeah.
Well, if I had that, because I've lived in apartments. Like right now, I live in a room.
Uh huh.
So if I'm going to step out for a few hours and I'm afraid of anything like that, I've got little dog carrying cages or whatever you call it. So I can put them in there and close the door, and they're fine.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they're used to it.
Hmm.
They're poodles, so they're smart. So like if I set it on the floor, open the door, and all you do is point, and they'll just go in there and lay down, and I close the door.
Well, that's really great. Oh, that works then. Yeah. I never thought of that actually. That's actually a pretty good idea. I just don't want the responsibility of having to look after, another creature basically at this point in my life. So
Well, I know I don't really need the responsibility, but I look at it like they're my kids, and getting rid of them or giving them to someone else would be a last resort.
well, yeah, I mean if you had them for a number of years, I can understand that.
Yeah, I've had
But
them since they were all babies.
I haven't had a pet since I was like in my teens, so it's been so long. And I'm getting so old and set in my
Rocky,
ways.
get over here.
I'm getting so old and set in my ways that I don't really
Silly.
worry about that stuff anymore. So, ooh, oh, that's darn sure.
Let me see where I leave off. Okay. And Cam says, Suzanne Extreme thanks. I love the Yule greets. Lord Odin, for Wanderer sees us. And Suzanne says, PvP, I'm sitting on your lap telling you what I want for Christmas. In my mind, so you are not alone for Christmas, dear.
Oh my, Suzanne, sitting on my lap.
Su- Suzanne
Wow.
says, Cam, indeed he does.
You might
Uh,
have a friend there, there, Suzanne, if you do that.
Yeah,
Right, just
that's
keep
pretty
the
sexy there, Suzanne.
right.
Thank you so much. You just cheered me up this lonely Christmas.
Just keep the groping to a minimum.
Well, since we're only talking over the internet, I don't think there's going to be a whole hell of a lot of groping
Right. Well,
possible.
you can do mental groping, I guess.
It'll be mental groping, yes, in my imagination. There we go. Oh my. Oh goodness me.
So, Gorilla, what is your next movie you're showing at your Sunday cinema or whatever that is?
Depends what time I get home tomorrow if I even do it. So,
Oh, you're gonna do it tomorrow? If you get, I guess if you get time is what you're saying, right?
yeah, I just don't know what time I'll get home for my sisters because they're planning on supper tomorrow.
Oh, it might be too
But
late. Might be too late then.
yeah,
I would be
so
probably exhausted after a big old home cooked meal like that. I'd probably be overeating, and then I'd just be ready to crash when I got home.
yeah, so it'd probably be next Sunday that we'd be watching a movie, and that'd be a American Reunion.
Oh yeah, we got to do that one still, don't we? That's right. I
Is
forgot.
that
Yeah,
part of the American Pie series?
It's
yeah, that's
the fourth
yes,
one.
yeah. It's basically was made like 20 years after the last like original cast one.
I was going to ask if there's anybody left in the original
Oh,
cast. I
it's
guess
got
not.
pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much got the entire original cast actually popping. It's really good actually too.
Well, so it's like a reunion, I guess, like the title
It's
says.
it's like a real film in the series. Mostly the original cast came back and good solid writing again. Very funny film. Like it's a good time. Lots of fun.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll figure out what's her name again though. I can't remember if she was in it or not.
Well, there's Allison Hannigan and
No, I was talking about the foreign exchange student. What's her name?
yeah,
Fauna.
I don't know if she's in it actually. Yeah, I forget that. Most of the cast did come back though, luckily.
Yeah. We still got to review the car that ate Paris.
When's that coming up?
Uh, Probably next Saturday.
Okay, cool. Do you guys have any? Is there any streams you guys have planned on for like around New Year's?
I know Mikey was planning one. I was thinking of doing something. But I'm not sure.
No, I guess New Year's probably falls on a week from Monday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, New Year's evening would be on a Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so New Year's. That's right. New Year's Day would be on Monday. So a
Yeah.
week from tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I would
Got
guess that's when
got it.
most people will be doing something if they're going to stream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and it'll
haven't.
be probably be like we said. It'll probably be the big YouTubers with
Yeah,
thousands of subs. Will be doing that.
I haven't heard of anything too definite yet, to be honest. So I mean, I'm just kind of going to wait and see towards the end of the week. If anybody posts anything.
Well, that's cool. I know I don't have any plans. I don't usually stream on Sundays anyway, so I hadn't really thought about it.
Yeah, I'll just wait and see.
But I know I'm not going to do like this week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because like I said, half my panelists or co-hosts are going to be doing stuff with their families. So I'll be skipping that until maybe next week.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much taken everything off until Thursday or Friday at the earliest. So yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it, if New Year's is next Monday, I may not do Lost in Space because I don't think Jill's going to be available, and Gorilla may not be available. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on the last Lost in Space stream, did we not? That you were just going to
Skip
postpone it
2 weeks.
yeah, skip 2 weeks basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll skip my sci-fi horror stream or not.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, but I thought pretty much, I think Jill had said she was probably going to be away that day. I mean, I don't really know what her schedule is, but I'm sure she's going to not be around much this coming week. So,
Right. She said she might drop in every now and then to say hi, but right,
mhm.
she's not going to be hosting any streams or be on any panels that I know
Yeah, well, she usually does on Saturdays. She would usually do the Star Trek stream in the
of.
morning. We usually have the watch party together doing Voyager at the current time. But of course, she's completely away this weekend, and so that's cool.
All right.
You know.
All right. I gotta go, guys. My daughter woke back up, so I'm gonna have to go lay
Oh
with her.
Okay,
oh
well,
well.
Gorilla, thank you for stopping in. And if I don't see you the next couple of days, have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a
Merry
good
Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas, girl. Have a good one, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
take
get
care.
get some
yeah,
sleep.
yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody, and may you bring honor to your house in the new year. All right, bye.
Okay. Good night.
Right, rather than dishonor. Suzanne Epstein says, PvP, I have eggnog. Ooh, sounds like
You
somebody's
know,
trying to entice you.
I went to I bought myself a bottle of rum yesterday, and I went to the store today, and guess what? They were completely sold out of eggnog. So
Those bastards.
I'm totally bummed out because it was nuts today. The traffic in the stores. Well, it's the last full day of shopping before Christmas, right? So I knew it would be crazy. But I just went and made a couple of stops, and then I got home because I was like, I can't deal with this. I was like maybe out for an hour doing a bit of shopping. It's like, nope, nope, got to get home. So
Well,
maybe I might go out tomorrow morning when it's early on a Sunday because usually, they're open the half day. I think most places will close around 5 or 6 tomorrow for Christmas Eve, and I might be able to find eggnog somewhere. But the parking is just so insane at this time of year, right? It's just like I
oh,
don't know if
yeah.
I can do it. It's such a headache, right? So
Yeah, maybe consider like what I was talking about, making it homemade. Like I said, it's not that hard from the recipe I looked up.
yeah, I don't think I've got enough eggs though. I think I've only got a couple eggs that are good in the fridge. So oh well,
Okay.
I'll get by somehow.
Well, I'm
I can
considering
always
it.
yeah, I can always get eggnog on next week sometime. So
Yeah, you got to have fresh eggs and milk.
I got the milk. I think I got about 3 eggs, which I might use on other things when I cook something. So yeah, I'm kind of low on some stuff. Oh, hmm.
Sorry about that. I don't know how I accidentally exited the studio.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering for a second there. I thought, gee, that's kind of early.
No, I'm just uh, Gorilla, take care, says Suzanne. And Camka says, Suzanne, if she take it easy and have a great holiday, Merry Yule. And Gorilla says, oh, I forgot to mention, don't do anything stupid because the judge won't be in till Wednesday. Yeah, you're right about that. And Cam says, Gorilla's random thoughts, and he's laughing. And the Lord, hello, Jay Aldridge says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Glad to
Merry,
see you, Jay.
Merry Christmas, Jay.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, definitely Gorilla's right. Don't do anything wrong. Well, my car is currently not running, so that narrows down my odds of doing anything that'll get me arrested, I guess.
No, what happened to your car?
Oh, it needs a head gasket.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and considering it's a Prius, you've got to pretty much take the whole engine apart. So we're looking at minimum $3,000 or $4,000. So
Ouch.
I'm saving up for it.
That's painful.
It is, but it's a Prius, so it's worth it, the investment.
Yeah, okay.
But I miss the old days of having a car where I could just pop open the hood and replace the alternator myself or whatever. Those days are long gone.
Yeah, I think if you got a car where you have to take the entire engine apart to replace one part, that's kind of a bit of a pain, actually.
It is. It's bullshit. Well, not only that, since I had to take it apart, and as the old saying goes, well, since you've got it apart, I might as well do the water pump and then the thermostat and all these other things that are really
Oh
hard to
yeah,
get while I'm in there.
right. I actually got lucky. I had my car a couple weeks ago was overheating badly. Like I actually was driving somewhere and
Oh yeah, what happened? Oh, that's right. You're going to take it back after the first.
yeah, it was overheating to the point where it was up on the red emergency light.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had to pull over and let it cool down for a while. And luckily, the weird thing was coincidence. I was going to head to the service center that day anyway to get my tire pressure checked. So I ended up, going there to get that done, plus, getting the coolant checked. Turns out the coolant was really, really low, and I probably got a leak somewhere. So I got to give them a call because they said, well, since it was on for like 10 minutes with the red light, you might have scored your pistons, which could be like means your engine's got numbered days. Fortunately, I got lucky and my car has been running fantastically since then. No issues at all. And the meter for the temperature has been pretty much hovering right around the center point, right in the middle. So it has not been overheating since then. So I think I really got lucky. I got to give him a call though. I was going to give him a call today to book a time in January, and of course, I got busy and forgot. But I'll have to give him a call next week on Tuesday, I guess now. But I got very lucky, yeah, because I think they said might be around 160 bucks to replace the whole coolant system in the car if necessary. So I'll just wait and see, in next in the new year.
Not bad.
Yeah, well, I was thinking my car might be toast. Like, if the Pistons had gotten scored, I might have had just like write it off and buy a well, not a brand new car, but another used car, and that would not be something I would want to do. Because that would have been a real pain in the butt. Because the old car still runs thing is, I think it must have been the coolant because for many months now, when I would go out, the engine would make this high pitched sound, and I was thinking, well, that's weird. What's going on? Ever since the guy put the coolant in at the service center that day, I haven't had that noise at all anymore. The car has been running perfectly normal with no unusual sounds. So I'm thinking, damn, the coolant must have been low all these months and I didn't even realize it, right? So, yeah, crazy. One little thing like
Yep.
coolant, right, can totally screw your car up.
Oh yeah. And now they make the blocks, excuse me, engine blocks out of aluminum and crap like that, so you can't take a chance of it overheating anymore.
Yeah, I guess, eh? Yeah, since my car is like 30 years old, it's built like a tank, right? So the old beast is still running beautifully. That's why I don't give up on it because I know it's got its issues, but basically when I got it checked out back in the summer, that mechanically it's still basically a sound car, right? That's running well. So I'll just keep driving the sucker till it dies, basically. So yeah.
Woo.
You okay? You okay there, Pop?
Yeah, sorry, I had to take my dog and move her. My ginger dog, she's really old, so I gotta
Uh,
lift her off the bed because I have to watch for her. If she tries to jump off, she might get hurt.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, she's so old, she's like almost blind. So she'll like hesitate at the edge of the bed, trying to jump off, and I gotta grab her before she does.
Right. So she's getting up there in years, I'm guessing then.
Oh, I've got yeah, she's at least 15.
Okay, that's getting pretty old in dog years, yeah.
Yeah, poodles live a while. Thank goodness. It's the big dogs that have the most trouble.
Mm.
Good girl, Ginger. I have these little potty pads for her. I hate that, but when it's cold and wet outside, I normally take my dogs out, or I normally take my dogs out, but when it's cold and wet outside, I got these pads that I bought that I put them down to like diapers, and she's smart enough where she'll go on the pad. So I'm happy for that. And then I'll take her out in the morning when it's not all nasty, cold, and wet.
Mm. Yeah, I guess it is a bit of a challenge this time of year, isn't it, with the way the weather can be? Yeah.
Yeah, it's alternating between rain and snow. I
Yeah,
was
the
watching
weird thing.
earlier; it was raining, and then it was snowing, and it was raining, and it was snowing. But we haven't got enough snow for it to stay on the ground. I noticed it's melting as soon as it hits the ground.
The really weird thing here this year, we got a tiny sprinkle of snow December
He's
1st,
miserable.
and that's the only snow we've had here all year. Like we haven't had any snow except that one morning when we got a bit of snow that basically melted within a few hours. And usually by now, like on the 23rd of December, we would have had like two or three decent sized snowfalls, right? We got nothing this year. It's just been rain, rain, rain most of the time. So,
Well, one
Very.
thing we know it's not, and that's climate change.
I
And I
don't know
heard
what it is, but it's definitely
it's just
not.
no, that it's just normal. There's nothing new about it. Whether just sometimes you get, sometimes you don't. It's not whether it rains or not. It's not caused by anything that us as humans are doing. Um, I heard that Southern California is getting a bunch of rain.
Uh,
Hopefully, they're getting enough to wash some of that shit out of the streets.
well, they need water there anyway, don't they, in California?
Oh
So,
no, they don't.
no,
I
they
mean,
don't.
it's like okay, it's okay. It's two sides to every coin. It's like yeah, they could use water, but as soon as they get it, they waste it like nobody's business.
I
So
thought they did
they
have
don't
drought.
appreciate
I thought they had drought
it.
for a lot number of years too.
Yeah, a decade.
Yeah.
But what they did, the environmentalists, of course, they're the death of everything. What the environmentalists did, I mean, they talk about climate change. Jesus, so stupid. What they did was they said, we have a aqua canal there that runs to a good length of California that serves a lot of farmers and the state for water.
Mm.
There was a tiny, tiny little fish called a smelt. And they said that it was in danger. So now what they do is when we do get rain in California, 50, I'm not joking, 50% of it is funneled off and just dumped straight into the ocean to preserve the smelt. So
So,
ever since they started that bullshit, now you hear about the California droughts. That's like because we never had that kind of problem before until they started that shit. But here's another example of what they did is California never had any issues. And I'm talking centuries. For centuries. They never had any problems with wildfires. They'd have them, but they were maintainable. Because whenever it was during the winter and the off season, they always went back and trimmed. The Native Americans did it. They would go back and trim during the off seasons, all the dead stuff.
mm-hmm.
And then the last couple hundred years, since the white man's been there, the Forest Service would go in and do the same thing. They would trim during the off season, and that way, when we had fires, they weren't that bad and they were manageable. But no, the environmentalists said, "Oh no, no, you can't do that. You're hurting the environment by trimming all that stuff." Now we get those massive blazes, and those. I'm sure you've heard where they say that it's uh, a fire, tornadoes, and all this shit. People dying left and right, cities burning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when all that shit started, the environmentalists. But guess what the environmentalists say? Global warming. They shake their finger. Global warming. We better raise those taxes now. We better charge more for everything because it's everybody's fault. Oh, I hate the Democrats and their lies and their bullshit and manipulating. There is no global warming, people. I'm not sure. There's more chance of there being a Santa Claus than there's goddamn global warming. Sorry. Here we are in politics again.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back and listening. I really don't like talking politics online.
I know, but that's why I got out of that damn state.
Mm.
Horrible there.
Well, you seem much happier where you are now, Pop. I gotta say so.
Yes. The only bad news, like I said, is I'm a little isolated. There's not a lot to do, not a lot of places to go, and everything is. And this is coming from somebody who just came from the Bay Area of California, and I'm actually saying that here it's so damned expensive that it's a nightmare. It's actually more expensive here than it was in the Bay Area of California because I happened to arrive. I'm in a tourist town.
Yeah.
So I'm in one of those little tourist attractions where everything's ungodly.
Yeah, tourist towns can be bad that way. Yeah, for sure.
They are. You would think they have a discount for locals, but no. I guess it's a nice town too. Like I don't see any ghetto anywhere. So I'm guessing everybody's at least middle class or up.
Right. Well, yeah, if you don't have lots of homeless and drug addicts on the street, that's definitely a bonus for sure.
Then I've never even seen a panhandler. Forget it.
Yeah, well, it's like where I live. My neighborhood here is basically very, very safe. I've been here for 9 years now, and I've never.
Right.
Well,
This is
there used to be a homeless shelter like 2 blocks away that has long since thankfully got shut down. And when that was open, there were some issues. Right, there was tents and bullshit for a while. but then they closed it down. Well, basically, they tore the building down and built a condo there. So that was the end of that. Thank goodness,
Right.
because I remember right towards like the last month, I came home from work one night and drove over to the supermarket to buy a loaf of bread or whatever the hell it was, and I see like six cop cars out there in the parking lot with all the lights flashing like like Christmas trees, colorful, right? And I'm thinking, holy shit, something pretty major must have happened. I don't know if somebody was killed or assaulted or, but I mean, you got half a dozen cops out there, something big time's going on, right? So
Well,
shortly
yeah,
after that, though, they closed it and tore everything down. Thank God for that.
yeah. Where I'm at, it's equivalent. Well, obviously, what it is, it's a small town.
Hmm.
So I'm like 30 miles away from the biggest town, which is
Right. Flagstaff.
Flagstaff. And there they have the ghettos, and I've seen, when I'm there, I've seen every now and then a person with a sign on the corner.
Right.
Right. So,
Oh,
it's
I
not
do
like we
see.
don't have it here. It's just I'm in this small town where,
Yeah.
like I said, it's upper class.
Well, I do see a person with a cardboard sign outside the supermarkets sometimes that I go to, but they're generally, they generally don't hassle you at all. They just sit there pathetically. And I'm thinking, dude, you're like 25 or 30. You're sitting on your ass on the cold concrete in December, begging for spare change. It's like, are you really going to want to live your life like this for the next 50 or 60 years? It's like, dude,
I know. Well, they
wake
only do it.
up.
They only do it if people are going to give them money. If people don't give them money, they wouldn't do it.
I never give them money.
When I
Never,
was in
never.
California, I can't tell you how many times where I would see somebody that was extremely overweight. They looked like they were in their early 20s. You could tell they still lived with their parents because they had nice clothes, nice shoes,
Oh, yeah.
and they're out there bumming money from people. I'm like, screw you.
Yeah, I've seen homeless people. I had one time. I remember a homeless guy walked up to me, and he had a coat on that was like 10 times better than the coat I was wearing, and I was just like, "Sorry, man, I don't carry
I
money."
know. You see when those designer shoes like
Oh
Nikes and
yeah,
stuff.
he was well dressed,
Yeah.
better than I am, and I was like, "Sorry, bud, I don't have any change. I don't carry it. I
Yeah.
don't
I've
I
had
don't use
people.
money."
Yeah, I've had people come up to me. Hey, dude, can you spare a few bucks? And they've got an iPhone in their hand. It's like, fuck no.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Yeah,
especially will
exactly.
not give any money. Will not give any money if they're smoking cigarettes, because I tell them, I say, if you can afford a pack of cigarettes, you've got more money to waste than I do.
Yeah, if you got 15 bucks for a package of cigarettes or whatever the hell it costs now, it's like, up yours, man, because that's ridiculous.
The problem is with people that smoke, and I've learned this with my brother, sister, and brother-in-law. The idiots I told you earlier that watch the commercials on TV. The husband's a chain smoker, and when my sister would whine about not having money, running out of money, etc.,
Hmm.
I'd say, well, maybe if your husband would cut down on smoke. Oh no, because I would talk about it. I would tell her, I'd say, you want me to help you go over your expenses, your living expenses, and we would sit there and start writing down how much this had. This is. They were very stupidly the way they spent their money, but anyway. And I would say, now, what if your husband would cut down on smoke? No, no, they would cut down on food before he would cut down on smoking. I mean, stupid. Smokers don't look at it like an expense. They look at it like a necessity. They will put their own family members starving. They will make their own family members starve and do without, as long as they get their cigarettes. That's how cigarettes are.
Yeah, yeah, I agree totally. Yeah, definitely.
Where they won't even, in their mind, they don't even think it's an expense. It's on a whole different level.
Well, they've been doing it so long, they don't really think about it at all. At all.
Actually, they do. When they get paid, the first thing they think about is cigarettes.
Yeah, that's
So
one
they
of the
do think
reasons.
about it. They do think about it.
It's one of the reasons one of my best friends died 10 years ago. Because he was a pack a day guy from his teenage years until his early 50s when he finally, passed away. And I kept telling him, Jim, you got to quit smoking. This is not good for you, man. And then, of course, he got diabetes and he didn't look after himself and he didn't take his insulin like he should have.
Overweight.
No, he was actually very thin all his life.
Was
I
it with the
was
how do you think he got the diabetes? Was it like a bad appetite? What he ate is, or
He
what do you
ate
think?
poorly. He drank
Yeah.
too much. He smoked too much. He didn't look after himself. He was a typical bachelor, right? That didn't look after himself like he should have. And yeah, he was actually quite slim his life, but I guess the diabetes. Oh, they basically found him one day on the bed. Expired from a heart attack, right? So yeah,
How old was he?
54, I believe. It's been
Yeah,
about a decade now. Yeah,
that didn't help.
because
Yeah,
we were
that
around the same age, and I'm 65 now. So yeah,
yeah, and you didn't do the smoking and all that.
I gave up smoking when I was 33, which is like 32 years ago now.
Yeah, I quit like 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
here's what's interesting is my good friend Sean that I grew up with
Uh huh.
never smoked, never drunk or drank. I mean, I would be like this is when I was smoking. I never smoked more than a pack of cigarettes a day. But
Right.
anyway, and I would say he ate like God bless him, but he ate like a pig. And I said and he was overweight. And I said, Sean, that's not good. It's not healthy. Well, at least I don't drink. I don't smoke like you do. Because sometimes I would drink beer or two or whatever. But lo and behold, I outlasted him. That pack got to him before my cancer and everything got to me. He died probably about 6 or 8, same age as me. And he died when he was about 50 because of the body it started with, of course, high blood pressure because he was extremely overweight and bad back and so on. They
Right.
gave him a high blood pressure medicine, which ate his body in and out like it does, and gave him cancer to the point where his whole body was shutting down. And he had a newborn son, and he died as soon as from the first symptom of pain. It was only like a week or two until he was dead.
Wow.
I mean, he would joke, "Oh, I don't have an eating problem. I can eat whatever I want." Ha ha ha. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to hound him to death, but I always knew it. I mean, ever since we were in school together, we would get to school lunch. We'd get our trays, and sure as it, every single day, I would trade him. I would give him my bread roll for
Huh.
his salad. He didn't like salad, and I wasn't that big of a bread eater because I didn't want to get fat. And there he is gaining weight. And like I said, he would eat. I don't. Doesn't matter. He's dead now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, he had a newborn son.
That sucks. Yeah. But that's life, eh? Like, if you're have bad, bad habits, you don't look after yourself, it catches up with you. Like
It
I'm
does.
probably guilty of that myself. I mean, at my age, I know there's some things I probably should change in my lifestyle. One thing though is I haven't been a huge eater for a number of years now because, like yourself, Pop, I just sometimes I'll go a day with eating very little because I just won't get around to it. I just forget, right? And I know I should cook something, but some days I'll just skip a day because I just don't do it, right?
For
Which
me,
is
it's
probably
like right. For me, I'm not hungry,
yeah,
or if I get really sick, I just don't have the strength. Like after those chemo treatments,
right.
I'm usually like for like a week. It's like no appetite, and I can barely get out of bed.
Yeah, I just have days when I just don't feel hungry, right? I just like I think of eating, but it's like, do I really want to eat something? And I'm like, well, not really. I'm not really hungry, right? So I just don't. It's
What I
weird,
finally
but
did is I invested in snacks. I'm not one for snacking. I grew up not eating snacks because we were poor. We weren't allowed to eat between meals.
uh
So anyway, I was very obsessive about that. I never eat snacks, but only since I've been here the last 3 or 4 months, I started buying things that, like when I have those days where I told you I can't get out of bed, I at
right.
least have some snacks to eat. So I have like Ritz crackers, got popcorn for microwave. I've got some Cheetos, stuff like that. So that helps.
Yeah, well, I
Nope.
guess that's something in your stomach anyway, right? So yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's nothing fancy. And by the way, I know it's all fattening, but I need to gain weight, so it's no problem.
Yeah, well, I need to lose some pounds. I have the opposite problem. I
Well,
could
well, mine,
probably, I could
yeah,
probably, I could probably lose 100 pounds quite easily, actually.
yeah. All these treatments I've been going through, just like it just really did a number on my appetite, or
Yeah.
lack thereof.
By the way, have you got any updates on the progress of that yet, or lack thereof, how it's going?
No, no, I've got infusion on Tuesday, the day after Christmas.
Oh, that's fun, eh? Right after Christmas, yay!
Right after Christmas, right? So I wouldn't be able to stream probably anyway. I probably feel like shit.
It actually probably
But
works out well then if you're not doing anything on next week. That probably will actually work out, actually.
yeah, my last infusion it's every 3 weeks. So the
Mm.
last one was 3 weeks ago, and my regular doctor wasn't there. There was some guy that was like subbing for her.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't I didn't meet him, but as soon as my chemo was over, he told the nurse to have me go over to the hospital across the street and get a chest X-ray. So, and I didn't get the results because I haven't been there in 3 weeks. So
Mm.
when I go on Tuesday, I'm going to ask them about that. Why did he send me for that, and what was the results? I've been having problems with my left rib cage being sore. I don't know if it has something to do with that or not.
I remember you mentioning that a few weeks back. Yeah, so that could be definitely a sign that there's some issue going on.
I know, but it's just if it is my cancer, they're just going to zap me with more radiation. So
Well,
I
I
don't know
guess
if I necessarily want that.
it's probably better to know than not know, though. I mean, it's like I don't enjoy these medical tests either, but I figure at least I want to know what I'm facing,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Even if
that's
it's
what I.
not good, I'd like to be aware of it, right? So,
Well, that's what I mean. I'm going to ask, but I don't know if I necessarily want
oh,
treatment if it's more radiation.
oh, I know the feeling. Like when I was at the hospital yesterday, and that very nice lab tech, she told me, "Well, we don't need to stick a needle in your face today because they decided not to do the biopsy today. We're just going to
Okay,
do."
so yeah, I was going to ask. Let me ask you a question. Whenever I pick an ultrasound done, they have to
Mhm.
really press kind of hard. Did that hurt when they did that?
No, she didn't press that hard. She was very, I think she was very skilled. Like the technicians at the local hospital here are very good. It's probably about the third best hospital in the province. Like
That's
by
good.
far the best in the interior for
Were
sure.
you able to watch on this monitor with her?
No, I was lying on my side, facing away from the screen. So she did a lot of scans, like probably about 20
Gotcha.
minutes worth over and
So
over
did
again.
okay. So did she say what the treatment's going to be?
She did not. She said, well, she basically took it into the back room to show the head guy there, the radiologist or whatever the hell he is in
Well, as
charge of
long
the
as you don't hear
department.
any as long as you don't hear any laughing, then you should be okay.
Well, she came back out 20 minutes later and she said the results look good. It looks good. So, I thought, oh, that's great to hear. Nothing, nothing bad that she said. She said, though, will have to go over it some more and we will send the results to your regular doctor sometime within the next week. So I'm guessing probably by the time I go and see my regular doctor in
Got it.
January,
Yeah,
it,
because your
you
doctor
know,
probably took this whole week off coming up. They usually do.
yeah, I would guess that probably clinic is probably closed this week. But my doctor's she's a really good doctor. Like she's very thorough and she actually seems to give a shit. Like she actually cares. Takes the time to explain, things to me about what's going on. So she's really good that way. So I'm sure I'll get a very full report when I see her next month. So um, but they said no need for a biopsy at this point. We're just going to take it one step at a time, and we'll do this procedure today, and then if there's a biopsy needed, we can do that in the new year. So it's just like going step by step. So I'm like, oh, I'm okay with that.
Right,
So because I've had the damn thing for over 30 years and it's never given me any problems.
right.
So
That's all. No, it's all part of getting old, I guess.
I just think it's probably going to remain benign. I don't think it's ever going to go malignant personally. My gut feeling is on that because I've had it for ages and it's
Well,
never
no,
caused me any problem.
didn't you say they already said it wasn't cancer, that it was more like cancer calcium?
Calcium deposits, and they said that
Well, then
was
that means it doesn't it's that means it's not benign or malignant. That's cancer when it's benign or
well,
malignant.
what they said about the calcium deposits, Pop, was they could be just nothing because you've had this condition for over 30 years. So that could be why the calcium has deposited
And
after
it
over a
hasn't
decade.
spread, right? It hasn't
Yeah,
spread like cancer does.
but still, they did say that it could potentially turn malignant eventually. But I'm thinking it's probably just more of a long-term condition I've had. So
Right,
I'm
but it
not,
sounds
I'm not,
if okay.
I'm not too worried really.
No, and they said eventually, which means it's not like that now. So it sounds like they're planning on getting it taken care of before it gets any worse.
Well, the thing is, the worst case scenario for me would be if I had to have surgery because this is quite a large lump on the side of my jaw, and I talk on the phone every week. That's how I earn my living. Is I have to talk and be legible to talk to people like I am to you right now. And if I had this muscle removed and I lost control of my jawbone, if I couldn't, my
They're
jaw
gonna
wouldn't
remove a
function and I
muscle.
couldn't talk, I'd be really screwed,
They're
basically.
gonna remove a muscle.
It's a large muscle on the side of my face. Yeah.
They said they're going to remove it.
Well, no, they didn't say that yet, but I think potentially if there was a chance of cancer, they might they would probably tell me that that might be an option, is what I'm
What
guessing.
would they say when you asked them?
No, 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 they didn't say at this point that there was any issue of surgery or anything.
You haven't asked them?
Oh, I asked them. Oh, yeah, I talked to my doctor. I said,
No, I mean specifically, did you ask them? Is there any chance of them having to remove the muscle?
oh, I did, and they said,
What they say?
it all depends if they come back with any findings. It could be dangerous,
Okay.
but they haven't at this point. So I'm still feeling pretty good about the way things are going. So.
So you're afraid if that happens and it might affect your speech?
Oh yeah, I'm afraid I might affect my jaw movement. Like it's terrifying, really. If my jaw doesn't function, I'm screwed, right?
Yeah, that's
You
not going
know.
to be good. I don't blame you.
Yeah. But the thing is, I did talk to my doctor, and I actually talked to the lovely lady that did the ultrasound, the technician, and I said, you know what? If this doesn't show any danger signs, I'd rather just monitor this. Maybe every 6 months, come back for a scan every 6 months or so, and just see if it's okay. And she was like, yeah, yeah, that sounds like a good option. So, I'm optimistic. Let's put it that way.
Good. Hello, Lemon Pie. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Lemon Pie says, Merry Christmas, Pop and PvP.
Hey, Lemon.
So good to see you, Lemon. Uh, yeah, I know. But look on the positive side. Obviously, there's no reason of dwelling. I think it's good, for the worse. You don't want
Yeah,
to be depressed about it, right?
especially this time of year, the last thing I want to think about is cancer or something.
Right.
During the holidays, right?
Well,
So
remember, it's not cancer. It's calcium. So that's a big, big good thing.
yeah,
That's a very
I
good
think
thing, right?
I think it's just like some kind of deposit, and it's just
Well,
probably
yeah, build up.
probably been there for 30 years for all I know, right? So
Right, but it's not nearly as bad as cancer, which is a good thing.
yes, I think it's yeah,
Or I would
I
trade you
agree.
any day. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wish you didn't have what you're dealing with now, Pop. I truly do, man.
Wouldn't be so bad if it was if it wasn't all over my body.
Yeah, gosh.
But oh well. At least I'm here. Like I said, a lot of people I know are dead, so I'm not gonna complain. Count my
Yeah.
blessings.
Well, how many months have you been dealing with this now? Like, has it been half a year or something? Like, it's been a while,
I
right?
started treatment when I got here. I've been dealing with it. I remember it started with I started getting seizures in April. I had the brain tumor removed in June, and then I started chemo and radiation in like July, August.
So it's been like 8 months basically then since you started getting seizures in April, right?
Yes, I'm glad I don't get those anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. So something must be working as far as that goes, anyway.
Well, that's when they removed the brain tumor, but that's one of the questions I have for the doctor when I see her is, have you guys been monitoring my head? I know they've been taking CR. I can't remember what those scans are. There's so many scans I lose track of the name, but it
Oh,
wasn't X-rays. It was CT scan or some bullshit. Anyway, I'm gonna ask her. Are you guys keeping an eye on my brain so the tumor doesn't grow back?
yeah. Well, yeah, definitely you want to know that. That's what I had was a couple of CT scans like 3 months ago, and then I had the
Yeah.
ultrasound yesterday. So there's all kinds of different scans for
Yeah, there's
sure.
also MRI. I mean, all this crap.
Yeah, MRIs. Yeah, yeah,
Did
definitely.
you hear there was an article out this week? Some dumbass took a gun into an MRI machine
Really?
and it fired and shot him. So
What a
very fitting, huh?
oh man, you got to wonder about the lack of intelligence of some folks, eh, Pop?
Right. I mean, who doesn't know about the magnets in those things? I mean, I do. I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to take anything metallic. You're even supposed to remove your jewelry, I believe,
Every
from what I read.
right. They even ask you if you've got cavities. I mean, they have to worry about every little tiny thing.
Yeah, yeah. Remember when I went for the CT, it was like I got the letter, and it's like make sure you remove all your jewelry, anything metallic, nothing metallic, So yeah, exactly.
There was a guy a few years ago, and this is not an urban legend. It really did happen. I remember when I got pneumonia in 2016. I
Mm.
was talking to the tech about it, and they had heard of it then, so it was before then. I'm guessing somewhere in the 2000s. But so I remember a technician did not know at a hospital somewhere, did not know about an MRI. and they walked into a room while it was active with an oxygen tank, and
Oh
it
no.
pulled the guy completely through that thing with that oxygen tank, and just, I mean, instantaneous death.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's pathetic. Must be very poor protocols at that hospital, I'm guessing.
Probably a trainee, somebody who really. You think everybody would now? You think everybody would be trained about that, but
Yeah.
I guess maybe he was a trainee. I don't know. Maybe it was a
Yeah,
custodian,
that's
even, and maybe a custodian didn't know, and he was cleaning an area, thinking, well, maybe it belongs in here.
that's really shocking actually. Because every experience I've had at my local hospital, the people there are very, very professional and well trained and knowledgeable about everything they're doing. And I've never had any concern about any issues, with any of the folks that I've had tests done with. Like they always seem to be like, top quality, professional people. So
Oh, I've had to
that's
make
that's really
mistakes.
sad.
It is for, I mean, whoever it was. I hope I didn't have a family or whatever. They probably
Horrible.
did.
That's horrible. Yeah.
That's like those people you heard where they're at a diving bell, and they bring them up, and then somebody actually pushes the wrong button, and it immediately decompresses, and they're like all of them are like sucked out of this tiny little hole.
Ouch. That sounds bad.
Yeah, right. And it's like, and it's so fast. It's so fast. There's no time for them to even acknowledge it. But that's got to be a terrible way to go too.
Well, I guess it'd be so quick though. It'd probably be relatively painless because you'd be dead before you
No,
even realized it.
yes, no time to think. Right, your ass would be going through your brain too fast.
Well, I think worse would be like if you were out in the ocean, you were drowning, and you're paddling away trying to stay above the surface, and then the water starts to fill your lungs. Now that would be a horrible way to die.
Oh yeah, but it's at least not as bad as like in a fire. If I was drowning, I would just start taking big swallows. If I got to the point where it's like, okay, no one's gonna save me. I'm tired. I can't swim anymore. Take big swallows.
Yeah, yeah, fire would be very bad too. Jeez, this
Right.
is nice. This is such a cheerful Christmas
Nice
conversation,
topic,
Bob.
isn't it? Yeah. What's the worst way to go?
Drowning, fire,
Multiple
death by getting
stabbings,
death by getting sucked out of a hole. Yeah.
ran over by a car and drugged for 6 blocks.
Oh God, drive-by shootings. I mean, hey, the list is endless, right?
Right. Oh, it sounds like we're talking about California, my hometown.
Oh God, is the world in a mess or what, Pop? Like, I was looking at some stuff on Twitter while I was waiting to see if you were going to go on tonight, and some of the people posting some of the shit on there is like, oh my God, the world is a horror show these days. It's
It
just
is.
ridiculous.
It is. And the worst part is when you see the video, and there's many, many, many of them, where there's like kids in school fighting and attacking each other, and everybody's cheering them on and just recording them with their phones.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I've
like,
seen those
oh my
videos.
God.
Yeah, that's just been going on for years, though, right?
Well, yeah, not this bad. Now it's even more. It's worse because the kids know they have cameras watching them and they're trying to show up. So it's even worse now.
Oh yeah.
Just like we've got a lot more cases now where students are attacking teachers. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm seeing more videos of that all the time.
That's bad.
Because they know that all the friends in the class are pulling out their phones and they're posting it on TikTok, and the kid wants to get a name for themselves, and they know they'll get away with it, especially depending on their skin color. Did you see that? Did you hear about that kid the other day that was like 6, went to school and shot his teacher?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, okay. The good news is, well, I'm sure you can guess the skin color of the kid and the teacher. The teacher was obviously, let's just say, not a person of color.
Right.
And it was a woman. Anyway, a 6-year-old boy takes mom's gun, shoots the teacher, and then goes home and tells mom, I shot that bitch. A 6-year-old. That's what I was talking about earlier with Gorilla, how kids aren't the same anymore. Yeah, I shot that bitch. Mom apparently on drug horse, drugs and alcohol and booze, just left the gun laying around.
So she probably patted the kid on the head and said, "Well done, son."
Of course, yeah. Did you get that white bitch? Did you get that white bitch? Good boy.
Oh my Lord Almighty God! The world is
anyway
really gone to hell.
Because of her skin color, a slap on the hand, and she put a little bit of probation, and that's about it.
Kid should be fucking expelled and probably sent to a juvenile correction center for a number of years.
Right, but
as far as
remember,
I'm concerned.
right? No, right, but remember now, this is 6 years old.
Oh, I know. We have crazy laws like that here too. If a kid is under the legal age they can basically get away with anything close to murder,
Yep.
and they're not going to pay for it. Yeah.
And especially if they're of the same certain skin color.
Oh, it doesn't matter skin color. If a kid's like, I don't know, under 13 or whatever the fucking limit is, they
Here,
basically can
yeah,
get away with basically any shit they do. It's disgusting. I
it
agree.
is. Yep, same here.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't understand it because when I was a kid in the 60s, man, there was no shit going on. Well, no shit I was aware of. Let's put it that way. I'm sure maybe in the big giant cities, but I was living in a small town then.
Now we would have known if it was as bad then as it is now. Remember the big difference too is you didn't have all these cities that were corrupt to the core, that are full of the drugs, the crime, everything like they are now. That's
Oh,
all. That's
yeah.
all because of we've got this Democratic Party which is controlling everything now. We didn't have that when we were kids.
Yeah, we had left parties, right parties, back and forth. I mean, you know, central parties. I mean, you had all kinds of different politics, but basically people just had a different attitude back then. Like
Yes.
I don't remember any kids getting. I mean, of course, well, I remember that one horrible bully that tormented me until
Right,
I was in my
but
early
it generally,
20s.
if,
But
right, but generally, if kids broke the law, there was a penalty. Like not like there's no penalty now.
well, most kids just wouldn't do it because most kids were just good kids, right? It's just the way we were raised,
Right,
you
they
know.
were good parents. Yeah, good families. Right.
Yeah,
In
even if
fact,
the.
that reminds me of another study I was reading.
Mhm.
Okay, you know why welfare came about? Well, first of all, Social Security came about because Roosevelt. It was during the Depression, and he knew people were poor, or they needed the money really badly.
Right,
So that's
right,
why we got. That's why we got Social Security,
right.
and welfare eventually came along. And did you know that in the 1960s, when they started giving mothers welfare, mothers, single parent families, the mothers specifically, welfare money for the kids with no father in the home, that started in the 60s. And they said since then, illiteracy, crime, and everything else has skyrocketed. Are you surprised? With no dads in the house?
Well, yeah, well, uh, it's a tricky issue though, because my mom, I mean, my father was in the house for large periods of time, but my mother left him probably a dozen times when I was a kid because
Well, I know, but I'm saying it didn't happen overnight. But it through generation.
I think a
Now
two
you've got
parent home is more stable. I agree with that. Yes.
and now you've got generation after generation that have been on welfare, where it's grandma, great
Yeah.
grandma, mom, daughter. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. 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 No. Well, I remember when I was really in a bad state when my mom died, and I was very depressed for a couple of years, and I actually did consider applying for welfare, but when I looked into it, the welfare level here in my province is like $700 a month in total, which you cannot live on. You cannot pay rent and even eat on that kind of income. So I didn't think about that for too long. I basically looked into that for like a week, and I
Right.
said, "No, fuck this," you know. And
In
luckily,
California,
I found
it's
other options, so it worked
right in
out. But
California right now for a single male, it's 300 a month.
yeah, it's not much. It's really not a hell of a lot,
Right.
but yeah,
But
yeah. I don't know how
but
anybody could
guess
live
what? If
on it.
you're a woman with a kid, oh my god, the limits are, I mean, endless. You get cash. It's like 1,000, 1,500 a month. Now let's say, don't forget you get Section 8 free housing. You're not paying for that. And let's not forget you're getting free medical and dental.
It probably
And let's
depends
not
on.
forget you're getting EBT and free food stamps. And let's not forget you're not paying any taxes.
Probably depends on how many kids you have too, because the more kids you
Yeah, the
got,
more
the
kids, the
more
more you
money you're
get.
going to
Right.
get, right? So
That's why they count them by the head. This
whether you
one's got
feed the
5
kids or
heads. This
not, you're
one's
going to
got
get the
10
money.
heads. Right.
Oh God.
But I'm saying they count them by the head. This one's got 5 heads. This one's got 10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And no questions asked. Of course, no accountability, no questions asked.
Mm. Well,
That is
can I
what I
step?
unfortunately go
You
for
mind
it.
if
I'm
I
gonna be
step?
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna be closing this stream down here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's getting late. I'm just going to step away for a minute, and I'll be right back soon, Pop.
Go for it. And I wanted to say thank you once again for everybody in the chat. I'm sorry about the crazy conversation, but that's why I'm always trying to urge somebody else to come up and give me something else to talk about. I usually try to talk about pop culture or good stuff, but I know with movies and TV shows, there's not really a lot of good news to talk about right now. But at least we did kind of talk about Godzilla a little bit. And I drew to Jill. Oh my gosh! I came in and Papa's saying, "No, no, no, no." I was talking about a kid that shot his teacher. It was in the news. Okay, I see it's a story about someone else. Yes, but turned out that was a funny moment to enter the. And I apologize. I know out of context that does sound crazy, Jill. Good to see you, and Merry Christmas, Jill. By the way, to you and your family. Lemon Pie says, Jill, BBP is gangsta. And Jill says, clearly this is true. And Lemon Pie says, pop too. Well, I don't know about that. I know I'm not gangster. I'm not really. I don't have the strength to do much at all. So I get my butt kicked pretty quick. Ola Greg says, hi, Pop. Hello, Ola Greg. And Ola Greg, Merry Christmas, everyone. And Lemon Pie says, Merry Christmas, Oiler. Ola Greg says, hey, Lemon. And Lemon Pie says, Pop, I enjoy the various directions the convo takes. I know, but I know some of it's politics, and you guys don't want to hear about two old men up here talking about our illnesses. I mean, nobody wants to hear that depressing crap. Ola Greg says, hello, Jill. And Lemon Pie says, Merry Christmas, Jill. Yeah, I'm actually, I especially because we have PvP on the stream, that makes me think eggnog, eggnog. I'm craving eggnog, and I haven't had it in probably at least 20 years. But it's so expensive here. It's like it starts at like $6 for half gallon. So I'm gonna make some homemade. I was looking at a recipe online, and all it is milk and egg and nutmeg, which is very very simple. It's just you actually doing the process, which is I'm willing to do. I'm a fairly good cook if I follow the directions.
So it's just raw eggs, I'm guessing.
Raw eggs, milk, mostly milk. You separate the eggs. I don't remember exactly verbatim, but you separate the eggs from the egg whites,
Hmm.
and then you pour the egg yolk into the milk. You cook that a little bit, and then with the whites, you whip those up into whipped cream. Then you fold that into the milk and egg, and then that's when you add the nutmeg, and
Yeah.
then you cook it a little bit, take it off the stove, then put it in the refrigerator, let it cool. So yeah, it's a few steps, which is not bad. I've cooked things that are more complicated.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ola
I got.
Greg, I'm drinking nog and bourbon tonight, and I want to buy. I was thinking about that earlier when I was telling you that I wanted to go to the store, but I didn't because it was raining. I want to try that stuff that you said Jill was doing, amaretto or whatever that was.
Amaretto. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna look. I was actually thinking about looking to see if they had that, but then it was raining, and maybe I'll go tomorrow. Lemon Pie says PvP does it raw eggs, that is. And Basil Battle Dragon says, howdy, Lemon. Yes, eggnog is good. This dragon likes eggnog with a good bourbon. Okay, so I was just going to ask that. So, what's the best thing to go with eggnog? Is it bourbon? Is it brandy? I mean, or does it depend on the person, on their taste, or what?
I usually go with rum personally.
Rum?
Yeah, I
Lemon
get
Pie says,
the.
I'm having some rose wine. Ooh, go
I
ahead.
usually go for the gold Bacardi because I like the gold. I think it's a little more less harsh, a little more flavorable. So yeah.
I know they have dark and then they have clear. I didn't know they had a gold.
Yeah, they got the clear and they got the dark, but they do have the gold, which is kind of what I generally enjoy because it's a little more smooth than the regular stuff. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
And Oleg Greg says, I think it's cheers. It looks like more wine. Lemon Pie says rosé. Oh, duh. Rosé wine. I'm not much of a wine drinker, so please I apologize for, and forgive the stupidity. That's right, rose wine. I'm not, and the reason why is because I've always found wine kind of bitter and it upsets my stomach.
hmm.
Basil says, yes, it's up to individual preferences. Okay. Well, then I'll try it with the amaretto stuff that Jill drinks. Because that sounds good. You
Amaretto's
guys, yeah, you said it tastes like almond or pecan or something like that, right?
it's like kind of I think it's kind of like hazelnut or something. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll try that with eggnog. That's what I'm thinking. Is I need some. I was looking. I do need to get some fresh milk, and it's on sale for just something a gallon, which is a good price. And then let's see. I'll pick up some nutmeg, but I'm gonna try to do that. I don't have a electric mixer, All I have is a whisk, so I don't know how easy or difficult it's going to be to try to whip up those egg whites. But I'd like to try to make some eggnog and try to have it for Christmas. That would be nice for a change.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, for sure.
I might have to end up buying a mixer. Yeah, I put it off because it's like, okay, I'm not going to buy something that I'm only going to use once or twice. But I'm guessing if I buy one, maybe I'll use it more. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a mixture here, but I haven't used it in years actually to come to think of it.
Yeah, I normally I have a whisk, and I like if I'm going to make a cake or something, I'll just use the whisk. But to get it to a like meringue form, almost meringue, that's going to take forever with a whisk. I don't know. I need to talk to somebody who's an actual cook, I guess.
Hmm.
Ola Greg says Jim Beam vanilla mixes well with nog.
It's not bad.
I like Jim Beam. I can handle that. I used to drink
Bourbon's
that. Go ahead.
bourbon's not bad. Bourbon's not bad with eggnog. Yeah.
Lemon Pie says it was my fault for leaving off the Astro. No, it's not Lemon Pie. I should have known what you meant rose. And that derivative Jill says Merry Christmas. And Ola Greg says dragon can mix drinks with a claw or tail tip. Just make sure you clean your claw. Lemon Pie said I think I'll get some brandy. But on Sundays, hard liquor stores are closed in Texas. What is this? Blasphemous as it may be? Is it that way in Arizona, Pop? I don't think so. And besides, the liquor here is at the Safeway grocery store. So I guess they would have to close their liquor section on a Sunday. And I haven't never seen that. I've never thought about it because I never go look at my liquor, but I don't think so. California, I know they didn't have it like that. I remember when I had a job that sent me to Arkansas, it was like that in Arkansas. Plus, over there in the South, they had dry counties too. And they also had drive through liquor stores. And I never thought I'd wrap my head around that. But yeah, they actually had drive through liquor stores. Basil Battle Dragon says, yes, Pop, you'll like it with Jim Beam and vanilla. So you're talking Jim Beam vanilla, like that's a flavor of Jim Beam? Or do you mean buy vanilla flavoring and add that to it?
It's
What
probably a type of Jim Beam. Actually, I'm guessing.
type of Jim Beam? Limit Pie says you can't get hard liquor in a grocery store here. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you can't get it here either.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if they have any. I don't know. Yeah, I've never seen a grocery store here. I think Safemart or Safeway. I think they've got the. That's just like there's no other grocery store either. So I think Safeway is bribing the right people or something. They're not allowing any competition into this town.
You can get wine and cider at the local grocery store here, but that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, they have hard liquor here because that takes a different license.
Yeah, there's no hard liquor in the grocery stores here.
And see here, it's in a regular aisle, like soda and the beer and everything. So I can't see them closing the aisle off. Ola Greg, excuse me, I'm clearing my throat. I apologize. It's a type of bean with vanilla flavor added already. Okay. I wonder what would happen if I added food flavoring. Hmm. Because I was starting to where I like the idea of the pecan flavoring. And I know I can get little bottles of pecan flavoring to add like you do vanilla in your food. I wonder if I could put something like that in there. Ola Greg says very smooth. Lemon Pie says a sort of Bible Belt remnant in our Texas laws, I think. That's what it sounds like, yeah. Basil, which means it sounds like you don't have a liquor tax, you have a sin tax where you're at. Basil Battle Dragon says this is a good time of year to have a few glasses of Arak, also known as Uzo. I don't think I've heard of that, but be careful, it'll pull you. It's really smooth, but packs a punch. That sounds kind of
Uzo
like.
Uzo
So,
is basically a Greek liqueur that tastes like licorice.
oh,
It's
I
not
like.
bad actually, but I don't think I could. I don't think I'd have a whole lot of it in a night. It might get a little bit much because it
When you
is
say
licorice. If you
when you
love
say
licorice,
when you say licorice, you mean black licorice?
yeah, it tastes like basic licorice. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, I do. I haven't had it in years and years, but that's interesting because I just bought. I like to experiment with new spices,
Hmm.
and there's a spice that I had never cooked with before, anise, star of anise. I bought that, and I've been experimenting with it. It's really good, and it's actually the flavor of black licorice.
Oh, really?
So yeah, like a few nights ago, I made a pork roast. Like a stew, pork roast with potatoes and carrots and vegetables, and I put a little bit of anise in there, and it was actually really good. It was nice to have that little bit of a twist, very very slight licorice flavor. I thought it sounded nasty when I first heard about this stuff, but it's actually really good. And it looks like, let's see, Basil says it's made from grape skins and anise. It's clear. Oh, that's what I was talking about. It's clear, the Everclear, but turns white when mixed with ice or water. Okay, there it is. Oda Greg says Uza is strong. I love it, says Basil. And Lemon Pie says all it does to close them on Sunday. Wait, all it does to close them on Sundays is make them more packed on Mondays, I imagine. Well, at least where I was when I was in the South and they had the no Sundays, people were driving like across the state of the border or to the nearest town where they could get liquor. I remember that there was a lot of that going on, and they would pull them over for I can't remember what the term is, but transporting liquor when you're not supposed to be. I'm sure.
Oh, they got
So no,
crazy border laws there, do they? Oh, jeez.
in the Bible Belt, in
Oh
some
God.
states, yeah.
Yikes.
And I drew to Jill says, "Oh yeah, that means liquor stores are closed 2 days in a row in Texas. Oh, because of the holiday. Glad I got the alcohol I need stocked for Christmas.
Yeah,
Oh,
our
oh
liquor
yeah, you got
stores.
to think about that ahead of time. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's why I went out today and got a bit. Um, but yeah, our liquor stores are open actually till 6 p.m. here tomorrow on Sunday, and then of course Christmas Day. Everything's pretty much closed, right? So.
Oh, let me ask you guys this: for those of you that said there's no alcohol on Sunday, when I was in Arkansas and I saw that they had the liquor, not for sale on Sundays, I asked the people that live there. I said, "So I take it if you go into a restaurant and order wine or booze, they tell you no?" And they said, "No, you can still go into a restaurant or whatever bar and order." I said, "So in other words, they're promoting drinking and driving." So my question for you guys is it can you get that stuff like at a restaurant or a bar
I would
on a
imagine.
Sunday?
I would imagine tomorrow you could, but I imagine everything's going to be shutting down by 5 or 6 because of
Well, for you, it's 5 or 6,
Christmas
but
Eve, right?
no, for you it's 5 or 6, but for them it's all day. So I'm addressing for those of you guys where there's no booze on Sunday at all.
Hmm.
PPP says hi, Jill. Oops. And Ola Greg says great planning, Jill. Yes. And our driver Jill says I wish I had brought my amaretto with me, but I decided to be thrifty and just drink my husband's vodka. But I also had him buy the same wine for Christmas Day. Okay, there you go. Very cool. Because think about this. Think about this. What if you're a liquor store or you're a bar and the state tells you, well, you can't sell on these certain days. You've got to close your business. That's going to really put a dent in your business, right?
Hmm.
So that's why I know in Arkansas, that's why they were allowed to keep their businesses. What, Pooch? Come on. Come here. You can't stay in my lap forever, kid. I don't know why my dog always wants me. He wants to sit in my lap. I don't understand it. Basil Battle Dragon says, yeah, Texas has some stupid liquor laws. Well, like I said, all it's gonna and here's another thing too. All it's gonna make people do is binge. What they'll do is on Saturday they'll stock up and buy double, and it's just gonna make them drink more. So I don't understand it. But I was in, like I said, I'm from California where they had it all the time. But I know when I was in Arkansas, some towns could sell it and some wouldn't. So a lot of people would have to drive to another town just to buy it because there are some areas that are dry all year.
Hmm.
Bootlegging, that's the word I couldn't think of. That's the term of transporting booze when you're not supposed to. Bootlegging. Ola Greg says blue laws don't apply to restaurants. Oh, see there. See, I was right. Basil Battle Dragon says the citizens have tried to get the stupid liquor law repealed, But so far, no luck. That sounds like whoever your politicians are. And Anhydrous Jill says, yes, we can still drink liquor at a restaurant or a bar, but after that, you're stuck with what they have at a grocery store, which is beer and wine mostly. Yeah, but what I was saying though, Jill, is on a Sunday, if you're allowed to buy at a liquor store, if you sorry, I put my dog on the bed. On a Sunday, if you're allowed to buy booze on a liquor store, then at least you will go and buy it, take it home and drink it there. But if they tell you no, no at a liquor store, that makes you, if you absolutely have to drink, that makes you go to a restaurant or a bar, drink, and then drive home drunk. That's why it's encouraging drunk driving. Or at least in my opinion, that is. I could be wrong. Lemon Pie says, yes, you can get a drink on a Sunday at a restaurant. Yep, makes no sense. I bet you if you ask those restaurants and bars, hey, do you guys get more business on Sundays than the other days? They'll probably say, yes. How did you know? We probably make more on Sunday than we do all the rest of the week combined. How much you want to bet? A lot of people do that and then drive home drunk. And I'd Ritter Jill says, oh, wait, no bars, but yes to restaurants. Sorry, got mixed up. Oh, no problem, Jill. But restaurants still sell mixed drinks, I'm pretty sure, right? Like if I go in and say I want a Mai Tai or a Bloody Mary, some of them at least, maybe if they have the right license. Hello, Wes Cagle. Welcome and Merry Christmas. Wes Cagle says never got caught on a holiday with an empty liquor cabinet.
I was giggle. I
Ola
early
Graham
Greg.
says cheers. And it looks like there's a whole bunch of booze there. And of course, I had no booze for me to drink tonight. Lemon Pie says, yes, you can get beer or wine in a grocery store 7 days a week, but no hard liquor on Sundays. Oh, okay. Well, then you'd have to really be into that hard liquor. Lemon Pie says, liquor, I hardly know her. And then I drove to Jill says, I'm not sure, actually. I'm not a social alcoholic, so I'm actually unsure. I drink at home. Smart. We don't have to worry about those DUIs. And I drove to Jill says, yes. And she also says the liquor laws are silly. They've probably been around a long time, I imagine. But it sounds like, I mean, at least with Texas, it's mostly conservative, right?
I
I
would
don't know. You
think
guys
so.
got, I don't know. They've got all those liberals from California flooding in. Who knows? I mean, seriously, there's not going to be give it. I'm guessing one or two more elections, and we'll have no more red states in the U.S. That's the whole point, is they're eliminating
Mm.
them. All right, and I I took a swig of soda. The wine my husband got me. Let's see, I can hopefully pronounce this right. Is Moscato Castello del Poggio. Moscato DST. I'm sure I'm butchering those words, and I apologize for that. I hope it tastes good though. And I Jill says mostly conservative, except Austin and San Antonio. Yes, Austin is, as you know, is where a lot of the California people are moving. But obviously, Austin can only hold so much, and they're going to end up moving all over. And now, of course, with thousands coming across the border every day, yeah, things are going to change real fast. I have a feeling. PvP saying I drink alone. George Thorogood.
Yeah, I just posted the music video. That's a good drinking song if you've never heard it.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like George Thorogood. He's got a pretty good bluesy, good rock and roll band.
All right. So I hope I did say hello to everyone that came in the chat. Like I say before, I try not to ignore everybody. Without the chat, I wouldn't be here. And if you haven't done so, maybe consider hitting the like button on your way out. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart that you guys came and spent time with me tonight. Lemon Pie says, I think drinking at home makes more sense in many ways than out. Well, as far as long as you're doing an Uber or Lyft or something, right? That's totally fine. I have nothing against drinking while you're out. It's just that, I know a lot of people are so used to where they won't do the Ubers and they don't want to leave their car on its own, depend on its own. Who knows where it can be broken into. So I can kind
Mm.
of understand both sides.
Yeah, I just
But
think
yeah,
drinking in bars is far too expensive now. The prices they charge you for a drink are
well,
outrageous.
yeah,
So
I didn't want to say that, but you're right. That's the main reason why it's a very good decision. For me, it's very easy not to go out. I've had my roommate here, Mr. CCDV, ask me once or twice since I got here. He goes, I'm going out to the bar. You want to go with me? And I'm like, no, that's all right. No, I appreciate it. But
Yeah, that's it. I could go to a bar and buy maybe 3 or 4 drinks at max, and I could probably go to the liquor store and buy an entire bottle of something for the same price, right? So
yeah, for me, it's like beer. For the price of 2 or 3 beers at a bar, I can get like a what, 12, 30 pack or something.
yeah, it's nuts. It really is very overpriced. I mean, you're paying for the service, of course, but still, it's overpriced.
And let's not forget, a lot of them are expecting tips.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yes, so which I if they're a nice person and they're doing a job, sure. If they're
Yeah,
the owner and they're already making lots of money, why why would I give money?
yeah. If I get great service, I don't mind giving a couple dollars on a tip for sure. But often the service is so poor, I don't bother.
Well, for me, I don't know how about there, but I don't like the cigarette smoke, and a lot of the times, uh, you go to places and they have cigarette smoke, or there's the door open right there where the smoking section is, and all the smoke is blowing inside.
Oh, really?
So that's another big deterrent for me. Jill says, "Yeah, tips to get ignored. Nah, but if I feel paid attention to, then I'll tip at a bar." Well, yeah, me too. But if I'm doing mixed drinks, and especially if I'm doing mixed drinks and they're mixing the drinks, even more so, I'm going to give them a tip because actually that's some labor, but not necessarily a big tip. If I'm like saying, just give me another bud or another beer, and all they do is pop off the lid for me or something, or they just hand it to me and I take the lid off. Maybe not, I won't, not so much of a tip, but I do tip servers because they deserve it and it's hard work and a lot of them are underpaid. But yes, and Jill says some of them like to do some fancy moves, have to tip for the show. Yeah, well, if the show's better, then sure, absolutely. But thank you everybody for coming and visiting. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll keep in touch with most of you guys between now and the next week or so. I probably won't have another stream maybe until next Saturday because the next few days for lost in space and all that. I know a lot of people are going to be busy with their families, so I'll be taking a few days off. If any of you guys are having streams, I'll try to stop in. I think I have most of my alerts set, but if not, I'll keep an eye out. Thank you, PPP, for coming along and helping me keep everyone entertained.
Yeah, it was nice. I was personally after I got home from shopping this afternoon, I was just kind of I felt so tired the last 2 days. I just like I don't have any energy to do much and anyway, so I'm just sitting here in front of my computer screen. And I was actually very pleased when you decided to come on for a couple hours tonight because I was just basically sitting here feeling kind of bored, to be honest. So it's like I'm kind of thankful that you did come on for a few hours and
Well, great.
we could chat and have a little pre-Christmas fun here.
Yeah, and it gives us a chance to say hello to everyone and say Merry Christmas. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm glad I came on to things.
yeah, because it does get lonely for some of us this time of year when we're not with family for the next few days, and it's
Well,
nice
maybe
to
if
have a little bit of fun.
if nobody's streaming on Monday, maybe I'll consider doing like a Rumblings from the lab.
That'd be great. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd probably be available because other than maybe hopefully cooking that little ham I'm going to put in the oven on Monday, I probably don't have a whole lot of it planned at this point.
Same
So,
here. Same here. So if I get bored, and maybe I'll pick up some amaretto or something.
mm, yeah,
Just
Amaretta's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, it sounds good. Like I said, I like pecan and all that kind of stuff. And PvP says showtime. Jill says good night. And then Pi says that was when you watched Cocktail Jill. Oh, that movie. Night alls is PvP. And Jill says night lemon pie and Merry Christmas. You too, and Jill and PvP. If I don't see you by Monday, before Monday or Monday, Merry Christmas. But I will consider maybe doing. I have my uh, infusion like I said on Tuesday.
Uh,
So if I decide to do a stream Monday night before I get too sick, then maybe I will. But I will think about it and I'll keep in touch and let you know.
yeah, just let me know. I'll check in on Twitter every once in a while over the next couple days. So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
And
Nice to be here, Pop, and I want to wish everybody in the chat a Merry Christmas and yourself a Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you. Lemon Pie says, "Have a great Christmas, everyone. If I don't see you." Lemon Pie says, "Merry Christmas, Jill." Jill says, "Yes, Pop. If no one you want to join us streaming on Christmas, you absolutely should." Yeah, yeah. Because like I said, I'm gonna wait for everybody else on the panel to come back so we can do Lost in Space together. But yeah, maybe I'll do a Rumblings. Who knows? And Jill says, "Is Cam Cam still here?" Good question. I don't remember if Cam Cam said goodnight. And Jill says, "I've never seen Cocktail, putting it on my list." Brian Brown. And unfortunately, I think Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I
But
believe that was Tom Cruise's one of his early films, wasn't it? Yeah.
but I remember Brian Brown because I liked him. He was in the movie FX and FX2, The Art of Illusion, which none of you have heard of. But okay, and Cam Cam hasn't seemed to answer yet, so Cam Cam may have signed off for the night. So thank you, everybody. Take care. If you have to work tomorrow, I hope you don't. But if you do, drive safe. Try to stay warm. Like I said, I might do a stream on Christmas, but in the meantime, Merry Christmas, everybody, and even a Happy New Year if I don't see you before then. Take care.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everyone.
And of course, I'm pushing the wrong buttons here as I usually do. Bye bye, guys.